Giant fans, we're going to the playoffs. What's going on?
We are in the playoffs. Giants fans, wrap your head around that. The Giants in the playoffs in the same sentence. Damn, does it feel good to be in the postseason. I am pumped up. Chris, you and I, it's our 5th year doing this show together, and we are finally going to get to a playoff game together, baby. At least one, maybe 2, maybe 3.
We said it. We said it before we started the stream. I think we're getting 2 games.
At least.
I think we're getting 2. I think we match up well with Minnesota, but worry about that when we get there. Let's say hello to a couple people in the chat. What's going on, Matthew, man? What's going on, Rob? What's going on, Afghanistan? What's going on, Optimus? Danny Cardona in the chat. Pumpkin in the chat. Big Moo in the chat. Michael in the chat. Abrar in the chat. What's going on, Nader, man? What's going on, Marco? Thank you to everybody for being here. Appreciate all you guys. We're going to talk some Giants football.
I got to say, I've seen a lot. I saw this comment on Patty's stream. I see it here. People like my polo sweater today. Oh, I got to be honest. I just threw it on. I wore this to work, and I got out of the gym late, and I ate, and I have a tank top on underneath. I'm like, I'm not going to change and take a shit. I'm just going to throw a sweater on over my tank top. So I did. But I'm glad you guys like it because I like polo stuff. And, yeah, I don't usually wear the red, but I saw a lot of comments. And I appreciate it. You know, once in a while, I clean up nice. You should see when I actually wear really nice clothes, what I look like. But it's all good. I'm so pumped up about going to the playoffs, man. We talked about this a couple weeks ago when we lost to Minnesota. I know a lot of us wanted another shot at them, felt like we could have beat them, maybe should have beat them. And I do believe San Francisco should beat Arizona without a problem. Yeah. And that will, no matter what we do against Philadelphia, what Dallas does, what Minnesota does, if San Francisco wins, that'll automatically lock, or if Minnesota loses, that locks them in the 3 seed, which means we play them because we can't go to 5 or 7, regardless of what we do against the Eagles. So 90%, we are probably playing Minnesota, and we're going to get our wish. We're going to get another shot at those guys.
And if there was one team that I'd want to match up with, it would be them. I think we have the best chance to beat Minnesota. I mean, maybe you want to say the Bucks. They haven't played great, but they still got Tom Brady. You know, you still got to respect him. Kirk Cousins, we all know, it doesn't have the best playoff resume. It's a team that we should have beat the first time around. So yeah, I think we're going to have a very good chance to. Let me ask you this, Bad Dog. Somebody asked me this on Twitter. Actually, no, I think it was at Bobby's stream. I popped in there for like 5 minutes today while I was working. What do you think the spread would be if we played the 49ers and if we played Minnesota?
If we play the 49ers, I'd say we're probably a 6 to 7 point dog.
That's what I said, 6.5.
And I think Minnesota, I think it's probably closer to 2.5. I think it's somewhere in there.
I think it's going to be 2.5, 3.
Yep.
Yeah, that's where I think the lines will be. I think we'll be a 2.5, 3 point dog against Minnesota, and I think we'll be a 6.5, 7 point dog if we play the 49ers.
Yeah, I agree. By the way, I wanted to play this because I did talk about this. I got to find where that is now. I forgot where you can share the video. I think it's here. So I talked about this at Patty Stream. I didn't want to play it because there is some swearing on it. But in case you didn't see my Landon Collins reaction, let me put this up here. Just so you can see, I went absolutely ballistic when he picks us off. Turn your headphones down. If you're wearing headphones, I'm just going to tell you, I get a little fired up, I swear. So I'll give you a few seconds to turn it down. But this was the play that when he picked us off, I knew. At this point, I'm like, we're going.
Oh, it was game over.
It was game over. This was game, set, match. So here you go. This is my reaction to the Landon Collins pick 6. I said hopefully it was just a stinger. Neck injuries are never good. 1,000 likes in the chat. Thank you guys, girls, for 1,000 likes. Let's get 2,000 by the end of the game. Fultz draws back the pass. He looks right. He throws right. It's intercepted. Landon Collins down the sideline. Touchdown! New York Football Giants. Let's fucking go! Landon Collins with a pick 6, and the Giants go up 20-3. Goddamn right! I was a little excited. I couldn't help myself.
I was running up and down through the stand, so I shared your excitement from the stadium. But definitely one of the most exciting plays the Giants have had in a long time.
It definitely was. NY Giants, my friend, thank you for the super chat. He says Giants playoff hype video is coming. It's going to be the best one yet. Going all in for playoffs, or going all out for playoffs, I should say. Stand up, Giants fans. This one will be legendary. Everybody, I saw somebody said Baddog pressure tux. If we make a Super Bowl, maybe I wear one of my nice trench coats. My wife always tells me I wear my trench coat. I wear the trench coat and I put these on. She always like, you look like you're going to do a hit for somebody. Does that all the time. Like, I'm not. I promise I'm not. She says that all the time. She's like, you look like you're going to do some business.
I see. I want to say a shout out to Authentic. He says, just so, I didn't even tell Baddog yet, actually. I found out like an hour ago. Carl Banks going to be on my channel this week. I don't know what day. He said he's going to let me know his availability, but yeah, we're going to get to talk to Carl Banks about the playoffs.
Things just keep getting better.
This whole week leading up to the playoffs going to be a lot of content, because obviously we're all going to be excited, and I can't wait. I can't wait for playoff football, and it's here. We've been waiting a long time for it, and it's going to be an absolute blast. Can't wait.
We deserve it. We put up a lot of shit for the last 5 years, Giants fans. We definitely deserve to enjoy these next couple of weeks leading up, or this next week leading up to the playoffs, for sure. No matter what happens with the Philadelphia Eagles, and of course, we'll talk about that. But I'm just pumped up, man. Chris and I, like I said, we've done this show a long time. And I always used to say, just wait till we're good. Well, don't look now. But here we are. We're in January. And our regular season finale is not the finale of our season. And that's what's amazing. And we're just getting started. Like I said, just give us that lottery ticket. You never know. You can't win unless you buy a ticket. No matter how long your odds are, you have a ticket, you have a chance. The Giants punch your ticket, and they're ready to go. And I do think we're beating Minnesota. We owe them. I wanted that. Like I said, I know a lot of people in the chat said I want another shot at them. And it looks like we're going to get a wish. So
I think we could beat them. And I'm going to tell you an X factor in the playoffs for the Giants. And a lot of people may not think about this. I think Graham Gano is a huge weapon for the Giants.
Oh, absolutely.
To have a kicker as good as him, there's going to be high-pressured kicks in the playoffs, close games. Graham Gano could go a long way for the Giants in the play, especially if we get out of the first round. First round, you're in a dome. But if you get by Minnesota, you start kicking in harsh conditions where every point matters. Graham Gano could be a huge X factor for the Giants if we advance in the playoffs.
Oh, absolutely. Your special teams is really big.
Yeah.
There's no question about that. So I think he could be huge for us. A lot of times those games are competitive. They do come down to field goals, as we know. As Giants fans, we know a lot of the games come down to field goals. So, NY Giants, thank you again, my friend. Says, do we keep Breida or do we look to draft the running back? Barkley won't be able to carry the full workload forever. That's what wears running backs down. I say draft one. I'm sure they'll draft a running back at some point. I talked about the kid from Oregon, Travis Dye from USC. There's some guys that I like. I don't know where they're going to go in the draft, though. I don't think you want to I think there's more important positions like wide receiver, interior offensive line, corner. But I don't know what they're going to do with Breida. I do think they'll draft the running back at some point.
I think Breida's gone if I had to guess. But maybe not.
They still have Brightwell, so
I think we'll draft the running back. I don't think it's going to be early.
No.
But I think we'll draft the running back next year, whether it be 4th round, 5th round. I think we'll be drafting a running back.
Big Daddy, my friend, thank you for super chat. He says, play all, beat the E-Gals into the playoffs on a roll. I would love that.
I would love it. I'm starting to lean that won't be what they do. Dable kind of – I think Jones is going to start the game, but –
half. I think they play half.
Yeah, I don't –
unless he takes a big hit, then he might go, okay, enough.
Yeah, we'll see. But Dable kind of backtracked a little bit when he was asked about it on Monday or Tuesday or whatever it was. So I think they're going to be cautious, and I can't blame them. But I'd like to build some momentum if they could keep the game close. But it doesn't seem like that's the path they're going to take.
Yeah. Bob, my friend, thank you for super chat. He says, I want Mini so effing bad. You got him, baby. Go Big Blue. We got
Let's go, Bob. Let's go.
We want him too.
We got our
We're
shot.
Get him. OMB Kev, thank you for super chat. Yo, Chris, I'm here. Make me a mod, my boy.
I'll say my channel, Kev.
Yeah. Not. Yeah. Well, I don't know when he goes back to your channel, I guess.
Yeah. I'll be live the whole playoff week. We'll be live on my channel for the Eagles game this week. But
yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
That'll be a lot of fun because again, we'll be very relaxed. We were talking about it on Patricia's channel. 2 games this year against the Eagles. And like you said, Chris, normally we're the most fired up against Philadelphia. We don't like the Eagles. We hate Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Most people do, understandably so. But this year, neither one of the games against Philadelphia really meant a whole lot. I know we got killed the last time we played it. Fortunately for me, fortunately and unfortunately, I had no internet, no cable television, so I had to listen to it on my phone. But it didn't look like I missed much, but it didn't matter. The game against Washington was what mattered. The game the week after Philadelphia is what mattered. It didn't matter if we won or lost against Philadelphia. We had to beat Washington. We did. Doesn't matter if we win or lose this game against Philadelphia. We have to beat Minnesota the week after, and we will.
Yeah, listen. It's funny. It's exactly what I said on Patricia's podcast. Is every year going into the season, those are the 2 games you're most amped up for. But to be honest with you, they're the 2 games I've been least amped up for because they've been the 2. Both games were kind of meaningless. Going into that Eagles game, you knew that the following week was where we needed to win. Even if we won that Eagles game, it almost didn't affect our playoff outlook because it was still going to come down to that Washington game, getting that tiebreaker against the Washington Commanders. So neither game had a whole lot of pressure. It's ironic, but I still think it would be valuable to be able to keep it close against the Eagles.
Yeah, you want to compete. Again, we talk about confidence going into the playoffs. You want to know you can play with these guys because, listen, they did kick our ass the last time they played us. They embarrassed us. So it would be nice to go in there, and as long as the starters are in there, play very competitive so they can say, hey, we can play with these guys. These guys aren't much better than us. These guys aren't better than us. We got them. Yeah. Again, I'm an advocate of Wink Martindale blitzing as often as humanly possible, just to knock Jalen Hurts on his ass a couple times, because it don't matter if Jalen Hurts beats a blitz. Just keep bringing it and bringing it and bringing it, bringing them all different angles. So if you do meet them in a couple weeks, it's in the back of his head that the last time they played us, man, they sent everybody. And not to mention, if you mess around your blitzing scheme, you can see what gets in, what doesn't. You can start mixing things around. You can start you can do whatever the hell you want. You can experiment in this game. You can run some stuff. At the same time, you don't want to show them everything, but you can definitely run some wildcat. You may run some kind of exotic flea flag. You don't know. The Giants will obviously save something just in case.
Trust me. They're saving something for the playoffs.
But I would like to see a lot of pressure on Jalen Hurts. A lot of pressure. There's no question. Just if nothing else, to put it in the back of his head, even if the Eagles beat us, he sits there and goes, geez, the last time they were knocking me all over the place. And if you hit a quarterback, man, he's going to be ineffective.
Yeah. No doubt about it. Doesn't matter who it is.
Exactly. Nick the Wick, thank you, my friend. He says Galladay only needs 77 receptions to get a bonus. I have a feeling he's going to come a little short.
I think it's 76. I saw it could be 1. It wouldn't matter. Right. You could give Galladay 10 years to get that. He wouldn't get it. That's one positive that came out of this season. We're not going to have to give Kenny Galladay any more money. He's not going to hit that bonus. Rest assured, Joe Shane, you're not going to have to dole out that money.
And might I say, a lot of you guys in the chat said, Baddog, you look stylish, you look nice with the red, you look nice with the polo. I appreciate that. But how good, look at that thumbnail. How good is Philly 500 looking at Giants?
He should be in that permanently.
Don't you think that looks way better on Philly 500 than the Eagles crap? Look at him. He is a natural born Giants fan.
And he will be a Giants fan.
He wears it so well.
He does.
Look at it.
He looks great.
He looks fantastic. That's the best he's ever looked.
Best.
As a matter of fact, I think his wife probably had her way with him that night.
I'm going to be honest with you. He normally looks like shit when he's wearing that Eagles stuff.
It is a shitty look.
But he looks like Tom Cruise there. He looks
amazing. He definitely puts Denzel Washington to shame. A lot of people get him and Denzel mixed up, and I can see why when he wears the Giants. That's a great thumbnail. Ernie, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you, my friend. He says, if the G-men make a run, you guys call them the Super Bowl. Oh, God, absolutely.
Let's get there. But let's get there.
Yeah, I mean, I've already talked to my buddy today about the Super Bowl. We haven't had the Super Bowl Hold'em tournament in a few years, and he said he wants to do it this year. But yes, obviously, if the Giants are in the Super Bowl, I'll go do that, and I'll run home and come call the game. Because we were talking to him. He's the commissioner of a fantasy league. So the guy that I split the team with and the other guy that we were playing, we came to an agreement. He pretty much, I don't want to say he conceded, but he gave us the better end of the money. And he said that, we'll just we all get a plaque. There's a plaque of all the champions. He said, we'll just put all of our names on that section and we'll put an asterisk because what can you do? He also took the worst draft position. He took 12th. We took 11th. So he knew he was going to lose. And I mean, Burrow needed 5 points in 51 minutes of football. I think we were getting that. So, but that's how I ended up talking to him. But definitely, let's get theirs right. I'd love to call a Giants Super Bowl.
Oh,
I might drop that on stream. I don't know. My heart could take it, but it'd be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. James, my friend, thank you so much for the super chat, brother. Appreciate it. This is good work. Keep up the good work, guys. Been watching you two since DJ's first start in 2019. I'm currently in the ICU. I didn't want to miss stream. Well, I hope you recover.
Feel better, James.
Whatever you're in intensive care for. You're a trooper, James. The man is in ICU, and he came into the stream. That is amazing.
Hope you feel better. I don't know what you're in there for, James, but I hope you feel better. And we appreciate the support. Yeah, that's Absolutely. A long time you've been watching us since That was one of the happiest games. We got the call on YouTube. Daniel Jones's debut start. The game
even though Janoris Jenkins came out with an unflattering shit fondue nickname because
he did.
Mike Evans torched him for 190 and 3 touchdowns. But Daniel Jones was. Listen, 2 passing touchdowns and 2 running touchdowns in that game, and that's
Sounds
exactly
like this past week, man.
Yeah, except for the difference was he didn't turn the ball over this week like he did against the Bucs.
You want to hear a crazy stat? This year, the New York Giants have had 6 games where they haven't committed a turnover. From 2019 to 2021, they only had 8 games in 49 contests. They've done it 6 times this year in 16 games. That above anything else is why we're going to the playoffs.
Oh, absolutely. You win the turnover battle, you're going to win. You don't make mistakes, you're usually going to win because the competition level is usually pretty close, even if there are the talent-wise, whatever. But the turnovers are a great equalizer in football. We won that Washington game because of the Kayvon Thibodeau sack, fumble, and touchdown. I mean, that was absolutely enormous. That shifted all the momentum.
Same thing with the Ravens game.
Yeah, exactly. We forced Lamar Jackson to a bad throw, picked it off, ended up winning. And that's the way we do it. And we lost Seattle probably because Richie James fumbled 2 punts. It just, the fact we've taken care of the ball. I talk about that 1990 Giants team a lot where they were ground and pound, play tough defense. They didn't turn the ball over in 1990 either. That was the first time they had like the lowest turnover rate in the history of the NFL at the time. They turned it over 14 times in 16 games. But that's what the Giants have done. They've held on to the ball. Daniel Jones has done a good job with that. And, because of that, we're in the playoffs and he's going to get his money. And he's going to be a Giant, most likely.
For sure.
Nader, thank you, my friend. Appreciate you, buddy. He says, I'm so proud of you guys. Your channels are getting noticed more and more. Keep up the good work. I really can see you guys doing something like the Manning brothers in a year or two. The Tube, baby.
We kind of do already, but it's on, obviously a much smaller level. But when I watch the Manning cast, that's what it reminds me of. Me and Baddog streaming the games together. But
Chris and I are waiting for the Mannings to invite us to the Manning cast.
That'd be fun.
It's coming right around the corner. We know Eli and Peyton are big fans.
We got to get Eli on the channel.
Oh yeah, that's
not gonna happen, but that'd be incredible.
That'd be amazing. That'd be amazing. I just want to be on Manning cast just once.
Yeah,
just once.
That'd be great.
That'd be pretty amazing. That'd be awesome. I wouldn't say anything. I just sit back and listen to them. It'd be great. NY Giants, thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. You see the Peyton Hillis news. Saved his kids from drowning. He's in critical condition. Hero. But my God, can we get a break with this stuff, please?
I missed that.
I didn't see that.
I did not hear that news.
But I would do the same thing.
Yeah.
You were gonna give your life up for your child.
Of course. But
that's what it goes. Wow. I remember Peyton Hillis had some of the biggest arms ever. That dude was. He was a giant.
No, that's horrible news. I did not hear.
Well, hopefully he recovers, but
yeah,
I give my life for my kid and any day of the week, twice on Sunday, man. Daniel Jones, burner. Thank you for the super chat. He says, new era, new name. Let's go Giants. Is that depressed Giants fan?
Was that Danny Duds? Was that depressed Giants fan? That was definitely a Daniel Jones hater if it's a new name, I'm assuming.
It might have been depressed Giants fan. Because we said when we get in the playoffs, he's going to change his name.
Well, there you go.
Maybe it's him. Nate, my friend, thank you for the super chat, brother. I appreciate it. He says, my first Giants game ever, last Sunday versus the Colts. Unreal. What's your favorite memory from attending a Giants game? Go G-Men.
For me, it's that game. I was there too, Nate, as you know. I've been to several Giants games, but I think that was my favorite Giants game I've ever been to. I mean, it was basically as big of a playoff game, which is why I said to myself, I gotta go. The prices are still somewhat affordable. The atmosphere there was great. The crowd was great, and we absolutely blew them out. It was an incredible performance by the team in as big of a game as you could get outside of playing in the playoffs. So that's my favorite Giants game I've ever been to.
Yeah, I always tell the one from 1986 when we went to RFK because it was just kind of a on the whim thing, and it wasn't just it wasn't easy to just run up and get tickets in 1986. There was no StubHub, there was no eBay, there was no Ticketmaster, there was no internet. So you just had to. We drove down there hoping to get tickets, and we did. And we sat way up in the upper deck, but I'll never forget that. Schrader threw 6 picks, LT had 3 sacks. Giants pretty much clinched the division by destroying Washington. And that one will always stick out in my mind because, again, that's the only time I've ever been to a visiting stadium in my life. And that was a great memory. So I have a lot of good memories. There's a lot of Giants games I went to. It seemed like we always went to the Eagles game. We always ended up losing. That's probably another reason I hate Philadelphia. In 1989, it was one of the coldest days I remember being in the stands. I was freezing. And the Eagles beat us. And it's just was, so sick and tired of it. They swept us in 80. We were 12-4 in 89. They swept us. I've had it with the damn Eagles, right? For once, I'd like to pay them the hell back. For once.
By the way, I saw Amazing Guy say in the chat, I got to go to more Giants games. They're 3-0 in the last 3 games I went to. I went to the Eagles game last year. They beat them. That was Jalen Hurts' probably worst team as a pro. And then the 2 this
Houston,
year.
Right?
Houston and the Colts. So they're 3-0 my last 3 times I've been to a Giants game.
There you go. So you got to fly to Minnesota. Sorry. Karnik, thank you for the super chat. He says, I'm hired to take photos on some boat next week. Yes, I think Brian Daboll is shutting off all bodies of water in all beaches.
Yeah, no ATVs, no boats, nothing like that, Katrina.
No vehicles. They're going to all be in bubble wrap, like the Bubble Boy from Seinfeld. That's what they're going to do. And bubble wrap them and deliver them. Fragile. Yeah.
No boats, Giants, if you're listening.
No boats. Joey Diaz, thank you. Remember when I told you Jones would be great? I'm sure you did.
You probably did. And that's awesome.
Yeah, fantastic. You were one of the few.
I'm thrilled at the way he's played this year. I think Daniel Jones this year has been a top 10 quarterback. He's been a top 10 quarterback in the league. When you factor in his support system and what he's been able to do, he's had a well below average situation, and he's played above average. He's been really good this year.
Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. The bigger situation, he's stepped up huge, and that's what you want. He's shown a lot of resolve. He, like I said, he grew up a lot this year.
Yeah.
As a person, as a leader, as a quarterback. And that's what you want. You want your quarterback to be your leader. You want him to be the absolute leader in that, in that huddle, command the huddle. And he has. These are things I didn't think he could do. Those are intangibles I didn't think he had. I'm glad he proved me wrong. King Casper, thank you, my friend. Currently deployed in Kuwait. Well, thank you for your service, my friend. Always appreciate that. But watching since 2018, thank you guys for everything. Thank you. Thank you all for everything you do for us. Giants journey has been amazing. Let's effing go, Giants! Hooah!
Yeah, thank you for your service, King Casper. We appreciate it. Actually, funny story, Baddog. I'm sitting at the game. Obviously, I went to the game this past week, and the kid sitting, I don't want to call him, he was like probably 22, 23.
That's a kid to me.
Yeah, a kid to me too. And he's sitting in front of me, to my diagonal left. And I don't remember what play it was. It was probably when the Giants scored their first touchdown or second touchdown. And everybody, when something big happens at the stadium, everybody slaps each other, high fives, whatever.
Of course.
And he turns around, he goes, "You're Tainah." And he reminded me with that comment because he's like, when I was overseas in the Marines, you were all I watched since 2018, 2019, whatever. Said, I love your channel. It was awesome. So it was great just running into random people. But yeah, that reminded me of it with the super chat.
Yeah, that is awesome. I've not been to a Giants game since a Jets game. Come hell or high water, I'll be there next year. There's no question. There's no question. Patrick Tisdale, thank you for the super chat, man. Appreciate it. He says, my boys, stand up. Great to see you guys, man. Chris and the Bad Dog. Mad Dog back at it. This team is special. NFL, be afraid. Be very afraid. We coming.
Let's go, Patrick. Let's go.
I'm ready, Patrick. I'm pumped up. I'm so pumped up. If that Landon Collins interception, I'm going to tell you how pumped up I was. No, and we needed that game, Chris. It was nice to just have a blowout. No heartbreak. No, this penalty cost us. Oh, not an offside. It's not a 65-yard field goal. Not a missed field goal. It was nice to be in command of that game and just cruise to victory.
Yeah.
It was a nice change of pace for us. We haven't had many of those games in a long time.
Yeah.
Long time. Big moo.
Big move.
Name of super chat. He says, "How did you get LT? Oh, Banks. I don't think
Don't call. I mean, I love Lawrence Tynes. He's the man, but there's only one LT.
Right. Oh, that's what I was thinking. Lawrence Taylor, because there is only one LT.
There's only one LT. Lawrence Tynes is great, but there's only one LT. But yeah, Lawrence was well, Lawrence. I don't even remember. Lawrence said, and I never try to push that on players. I probably should, because I see a lot of these guys go on other people's channels, but I always feel like that's kind of like rude to go be like, oh, come on my channel. But Lawrence Tynes, like, I don't know, like 3 or 4 months ago, I said something about like people on Twitter, like how they're jerks, and like Lawrence Tynes retweeted that, and he basically like acknowledged my channel. He's like, I watch your channel, love it. So we kind of developed a little bit of a relationship there. And then he said, when I'm free, I'll come on your channel. I reached out to him, came on, and Carl Banks has he's retweeted me several times, and he's mentioned me on his podcast like 3 or 4 times. And he said, I think I added him, and he said, yeah, I'd come on your channel at some point. So I reached out to him this week because they're in the playoffs. I'm like, you want to come on this week? He said, yeah. So, yeah, it's just cool to be able to have Carl Banks. Well, I don't know what day yet, but he said he'll let me know on Monday. So that's going to be awesome.
That's pretty awesome. It's the last time we took a linebacker on the first round, guys. Michigan State, number 3 overall, number 58, Carl Banks.
Legend.
He is a legend.
Top 10 Giant of all time?
He's up there.
Yeah.
He's legend. Up there. He's one of the best.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, in 1986, Lawrence Taylor had the year of all years. He was unstoppable. In the postseason, that was Carl Banks. I mean, he was as good as Lawrence Taylor in those 3 games. He absolutely destroyed San Francisco. He killed Washington, and he destroyed Denver. He was all over the place. It's one of the best playoff performances I've seen a defensive player have since I've been watching football. All 3 games, that guy was an absolute menace. He was awesome. I mean, Carl Banks is the reason. So the Giants were up 7-3. It was pretty much a standstill. I remember Carl Banks came on a blitz, and he got to Joe Montana, and he threw an interception to Elvis Patterson. I can't believe he picked it off. Maybe it was Herb Walsh. One of those guys picked it off. I can't remember who picked it off. And they brought it back to the 45, and then Joe Morris ran for a touchdown the very next play, and that was kind of all she wrote. So, yeah, that was the year I started watching the Giants, was when Carl Banks was drafted. And he played for a lot of really good Giants teams. There's no question about it. 2-time Super Bowl champion. I'm pretty sure he made the All-Pro team in 87. He was really good in 1987. That was a good player, very underrated player. I mean, in my opinion, borderline Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Yeah, he's pretty awesome. DRL, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. This is What Up, guys. Been watching since 2020. I love seeing when everybody started watching us. This is great because you guys and girls lived through this crap with us, so we appreciate it. Because you guys and girls have made it easier for us to get through it as well.
Just imagine, Baddog, when we're gray and old, we're going to have these people saying, I've been watching since
I'm already freaking old. I mean, I'd be gray, but I have no hair left. So that's
I'm already gray too.
Yeah, so there you go. I mean, what the hell? Whatever. When we're older and grayer or less hairer, whatever it is, we'll be there. But says, thanks for getting us through the dark times. Good to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Go Giants. Damn right, DRL.
Let's go. DRL.
It is cool to know that people have been watching us for 4, 5, 6 years. It's pretty awesome. And so you guys have been there in the trenches with us through this horrible, the last 5 years have been really difficult, especially last year. Last year was the worst. I mean, back-to-back quarterback sneaks. This is where we were last year, Giants fans. We were sitting here watching back-to-back quarterback sneaks from our 3-yard line, watching the Giants have minus 10 passing yards against the Bears. Remember the first play of the game? Fromm got hit, fumbled. Yeah, it was insane.
No, last year, I was just being honest. Like last year,
this was around.
Yeah, that was around. That was the first year I did not have fun doing YouTube. I did not have fun making content.
It's tough,
and it was a big reason why I scaled back because I stopped falling in love with doing this because of how bad and dark it got. And this year's been a lot more fun. It's been a lot more fun, and it's inspired me to talk a lot more about the Giants come the offseason this year. I can't wait. But last year was bad. It was a tough year to be a Giants fan.
Definitely probably the lowest spot I've had in my life. And I saw 2017. 2017 was really bad, but there was a lot of injuries on that team. And I know Daniel Jones was hurting, but the team was just so awful. I mean, there was the fight with Colombo, and he was fired, and Garrett was fired. And it was just a disaster. It was a clown show. It literally was a clown show last year.
Yeah.
So, you've been waiting for years and really bad to hit rock bottom. And I think that back-to-back quarterback sneaks was rock bottom. I kind of did a video on this a few months ago, or maybe a month ago, where I talked about how 1978 now is too young, but that miracle in the Meadowlands when Herm Edwards returned that fumble for a touchdown, the Giants lost. That was like rock bottom in 78. They got George Young the next year. They drafted Phil Simms, and they started going forward. This year, last year we had the back-to-back quarterback sneaks, and John Mara pretty much came out and said, I'm embarrassed. This is embarrassing. We got to do better. I feel bad for the fans. I'm embarrassed for the fans. And to his credit, he went out. He got the right guys in the right places, and look at us now. It's fun to watch.
Oh, it's
been a great year.
It's been great.
Tommy, thank you, my friend. Appreciate you, brother. He says the NFL is considering adding an 8th team in each conference this year for the playoffs. I don't want half the league making the playoffs move on.
I don't like that either.
What are we, the NBA?
I don't like. I also think, because if you do that, I would imagine you're going to take away the bye.
Right.
And at that point, I think the best team should be rewarded with a bye. So I don't like that. I hope they don't do that. But we already know they're going to add another game. That's inevitable. I don't know if that's going to be next year or the year after that, but that's inevitable. They said that they're going to make an 18th game, but it's more money. That's the reason. They want fans to be interested. They want fans to be interested. And if more teams make the playoffs, more teams are in the playoff race. But I would prefer to keep it the way it is. I think we have enough teams making the playoffs already.
I completely agree. Completely agree. DM, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. He says, Niners, Giants. We had the game, and Jerry Rice took it 85 yards. I was 10th row at the 45. What year was that? I remember that vaguely. I remember Jerry Rice taking it the distance. Was that 85? That wasn't 86, because we beat the Niners in 86. Was that 85 or was it 87? We were bad in 87. And it seemed like he played the Niners every year. I don't remember what year that was. I do remember that vaguely. It was like a minute to go, and Montana hit Jerry Rice. I don't remember if he beat Mark Collins or Elvis Pat. I forgot who it was, guys. I don't remember the year. I just know it wasn't 86. We came back from 17-0 to win in 86. There was that, and then, of course, there was the Jets game in 88 that we lost at the end. They got knocked out of the playoffs. That was a bad one, too. I've had some bad losses in big spots, too. I saw a lot of glory. I saw a lot of heartbreak. Angel, thank you so much, man. Really appreciate it. Says, did you guys see the play Chicago ran where Fields was out of the shotgun and the tight end came, took the snap, and tossed to Fields? Would love to see that with DJ.
No, I didn't see that.
I didn't see that one either.
I'm sure I could look it up, but no, I didn't see it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you never know. Maybe that is something that they say for if we do play Philadelphia for a third time. Maybe they do something like that. But they'd have to work on it in practice. I mean, I don't know if they have that, but yeah, you might see.
I'm going to tell you right now, I know they're saving a few things for the playoffs. There's no way that they're not. They were smart enough to realize that. I'm sure they got some tricks in their bag.
No doubt. Will J, thank you for the super chat, brother. Appreciate it. People look at numbers to define DJ. Crazy to me. They just don't watch football. Well, that's why.
Football's become not by everybody, but football's become a sport it used to not be that way. Baseball was always dominated by statistics, and statistics in baseball are more relevant. They just are. Now, there's definitely skewed stats when it comes to baseball, especially before the DH entered the National League, because you'd have a higher ERA, for example, in the American League because of the DH. The ballpark you played in could be more conducive to better stats, like if you're a lefty pull hitter in Yankee Stadium or if you play in Colorado. But for the most part, all things are relatively equal in baseball. In football, that's not the case. Whether it be the surrounding parts around you, it's going to impact your stats, the weather conditions, just the style of offense, the strength of your team could impact a quarterback's stats.
Baseball is pretty much one against one. It's mono.
It's one against
pitcher
one.
Batter.
To judge a quarterback strictly based off statistics is just stupid. It's just the truth. It's just dumb. I'm not saying it should be completely ignored, but people that judge a quarterback's performances based off of his touchdown passes what are you doing? There's a lot more to it than that.
Right. You're just being ignorant if you don't want to give the guy credit. I mean, that's really what it ends up being. Some guys Chris and I have talked about this. Some channels just want to push an agenda. No matter what side you're on, no matter what you think, they don't waver. They can't change their mind one way or the other. And sorry, you're allowed to change your mind. If a player is playing really well and you think he's going to be great, and then he sucks, you're allowed to say, whoop, I was wrong about that. I thought he was going to be good. He wasn't. A la me with Baker Mayfield. Like, I thought Baker Mayfield was great. Now, he played better with the Rams, but
he stinks.
I don't think Baker Mayfield is going to be very good.
Yeah.
And on the flip side, I didn't think Daniel Jones would be here next year, and I was wrong about that. I'm almost positive he's going to be back here next year. So it happens. But I'm willing to say, hey, I was wrong and change my mind. The guy's good. The guy's better than I thought he could be. I don't know what the issue is with that. I just think sometimes that's egos and insecurities.
It's
don't allow people
it's
right,
politics.
exactly. It's politics. So
people want to be they want to come out with a strong opinion and they stick to it no matter what. And
they want to be right no matter what. I don't care if I'm right or wrong. I just give you my opinion.
But whatever, to each their own. But
exactly.
I don't. People come at me on Twitter the last couple of weeks. Oh, you hated Daniel Jones. I'm like, are you stupid? Have you been watching my channel? I've been criticized for being too pro Daniel Jones this entire year on Twitter because I've stuck up for the guy as much as I have. So yeah, my initial reaction, I didn't like the pick, but it is what it is. You move on. He's played very well this year. He's been very good. I'm glad he got an opportunity, and I hope he continues to.
Yep. College guy, thank you for super chat. How are we going to cover tight ends? I don't know, the way we normally cover them. Linebackers.
We're not. To be honest with you, we're going to struggle covering the tight ends. We're going to struggle against the run. There's still deficiencies on this.
Yeah, the run defense still isn't good.
There's still a lot of building we need to do. We definitely need to bolster that linebacking core in the offseason, and we need more help in the secondary. We need a corner, but we got to roll with what we got. But yeah, we're going to struggle against tight ends. TJ Hockenson, he's probably going to put up numbers against us. I think he had double-digit catches the last time we played the Vikings.
Yeah, he did.
He's going to tear us up. There's no doubt about it. That's a weakness of our defense right now.
Yeah. I'd much rather TJ Hockenson be getting 8 and 12-yard catches as opposed to Justin Jefferson 100%. Running down the sideline for a 70-yard pass. That's the whole thing. The more snaps you take, the more opportunity you have to make a play on defense. If you're giving up one big play, there is no chance. So I'd much rather take our chance with Hockenson having to, move the ball down the field 8 and 10 yards a clip as opposed to with Justin Jefferson just getting one long bomb. That's
one thing we've been great at this year, not giving up bombs, by the way.
Right. Yeah. Ball don't lie. That's one of my favorites from Rasheed Wallace. What players are y'all watching in college that you're hoping to get in the draft? The wide receivers. That's where I've been looking.
Yeah, listen, I've been watching college games, but at the end of the day, my focus has been on the Giants this year. It's very hard for me to even think draft right now. Nope. We're in the playoffs, and this whole year we've had a winning record. In previous years, you start thinking about the draft by week 11, week 12. Not the case this year. Right. Yeah, I've been looking at receivers, but I don't even know where we're going to be picking. Right. It's very hard for me to even judge where these guys are going to go because the combine means so much, even though it shouldn't. It does. Mm-hmm. The number one pick this year was strictly because of the combine.
Exactly.
Trayvon Walker would not have gone near number one had it not been for his combine. So
thank you, Trayvon Walker, for letting Kayvon Thibodeau fall to us. Appreciate it.
So I've been watching Johnston, but we're not going to get him out of TCU. The wide receiver.
Mario Addison's a good one. Like I said, Marvin Mims, Jalen Hyatt, the kid from, I can't ever say his last name, the kid from Ohio State. There's some good receivers.
Oh, JSN, yeah.
Yeah.
Najigba, I think it's
pronounced. Yeah, so there's some good ones.
Yeah, I like, what I like is, and I don't know how he projects as a pro. I mentioned him in my live stream this past week, is in terms of a linebacker, the kid out of Iowa, Campbell. Mm-hmm. Oh, he looked really good. But again, a lot of people say he's more of a second round prospect, but I liked him when I watched him. But again, that's something that I'll dive into hopefully after February when we win the Super Bowl. But I haven't been looking a ton into draft prospects yet.
Chris, my friend, thank you for the super chat. I got
to meet him at the game. He was at the game.
There you go. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. My guys. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate it. He says, Julian Love's having a great season. His play this season reminds me of Antrell Roll in 2010, not just in play, also in leadership. Do you guys agree?
100%.
Absolutely. That's why he was named a captain.
Yeah, 100%. It's clear that they value him, and it's pretty clear he's going to be back. I wasn't completely sold he was going to be back 5 or 6 weeks ago, but it's becoming more and more apparent he's going to be back. And he's a really good player for us, really sound tackler. But I think his biggest attribute is what you just said, his leadership. And I think
again, intangibles.
Yeah, he's going to be back. He's going to be back.
I think so too. See, the funny thing is, man, we talk about this a couple of times. You look at some of Gettleman's drafts, and they weren't that bad. But Gettleman had the wrong people on that sideline, man.
I'll tell you what, Baddog, that might be his best pick.
Julian
when
Love.
all is said and done, in terms of value, the Julian Love pick, I think he was a 4th round pick.
He was.
That might end up being his best pick. I mean, the Slayton pick is good. I mean, to even get anything. I mean, the guy's probably got what, like 13, 14 career touchdowns for a 5th round.
The Kadarius Toney pick was not.
No, that was not.
Dexter Lawrence was a good pick.
Great pick. Now it looks like a great pick. The Nick Gates free agent, undrafted free agent pickup, really good.
Mm-hmm.
The Danny Jones pick looks a lot better, Bad Dog.
Yes, it does.
And call it a hot take, and I know you're a big Murray fan. I think Danny Jones is the best quarterback in that draft, at least for the New York Giants. I think he's the best quarterback in that draft when all is said and done. So that pick looks better. The Andrew Thomas pick looks great. Gettleman's issue was never talent evaluation, at least for me.
Free agency and trades.
Yeah, even his trades weren't bad. The Beckham trade, we got Dexter Lawrence for him.
We did. That was a good. The Beckham trade was good. We won that.
And what was the other trade? The Leonard Williams trade worked out pretty well.
The Ogletree trade was bad.
Disaster. His first year was a disaster, and his last year was a disaster.
Yes.
And I'm not saying he was great by any stretch of the imagination, but some of the things he did turned out pretty good for the Giants.
Yeah. Patrick, thank you for the super chat, brother. He says, Chris, I was cracking up when you told your story about the interception pick 6 by Collins. No one to go 5, but to yourself, I wish I was there with you.
Yeah, no, it was great. I ran the entire row. I gave plenty of people high fives, but I ran the entire row. There was nobody in my row to my left. There were plenty of people to my right, but when it happened, there was nobody in my row to my left. And, I was running 10 to 12 seats. I was running with Landon Collins straight to the end zone. I saw it as soon as he threw the ball, and it just took over. I was like, I'm going to run. Started running. It was great.
I hear you. I would have done the same thing. I mean, I was running around here, and I got nowhere to run down here.
Yeah.
The past master, thank you, my friend. Jalen Smith opinion. Awesome, unexpected surprise. I think he's filled a need. I don't know how great he's been, but I think he's filled a need here.
Yeah, I mean, it's an okay move. It's an okay move. He's been solid at times. Yeah, he's been okay. He's filled a need. Like Bad Dog said, he's filled a need.
Nicolo Labianiak, hope I didn't kill your last name. He says, hey, guys, been watching you since 1000 BC. I'm not even that old. My guy, the Imp, he might be. Imp is up there. He'll tell you. But he said, been watching it. Love you. Thank you, man. We appreciate that. Nicolo, I got right. The last name.
It goes way back, 1000 BC. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not, like I said, I'm not even that old. I'm close. I think it was 900 BC. Yeah. Tell you what, the Giants, sometimes the last couple of years made me feel like I was born in 1000 BC.
Yeah.
Let me tell you that. Daniel Jones Burner, thank you. It is depressed Giants fan. He says, I went from being a depressed fan to a thankful one by watching you guys. Always kept it fun, even when we sucked. Keep it up, been a viewer since 2018. Well,
thank you, man. We appreciate it, man.
And, the inception of Chris and the Bad Dog.
That was not easy. It's still, I mean, listen, we're still going to go. The Giants are a roller coaster. So I know it's not going to be blue skies the rest of the way, but it does feel like we finally have it going down the right path.
Yeah.
And Brian Dable has a ton to do with that. A ton to do with that.
Yep, absolutely.
And the thing that I love about, and I say it again, man, another fault of Gettleman, in my opinion, and we gave Gettleman as long of a leash as you could. And unlike a lot of content creators and a lot of Giants fans, we still are recognizing some of the good that he did. He did some good. He didn't do everything bad. But the thing that I love about this regime and Dable and Shane as opposed to Gettleman, even though I enjoyed some of his press conferences, he was funny. He was, he was kind of rude. He was kind of he's set in his ways.
Arrogant.
That's the right word. Shane and Dable, to me, they're not arrogant. They're not, it seems like they look at Daniel Jones. A lot of people say, oh, they wouldn't want to keep him because they didn't draft him. They're not going to get credit for it. No, I don't think they feel that way. And I think that's a big strength of both Dable and Shane. They say, no, we see a player we could work with. We're going to work with him. We see Julian Love. He's a player that we could work with. We're going to work with him. We're going to get the most out of these players. And I expect to see some of these guys back. So I think that's a big strength of theirs, that they're not arrogant. They're willing to work with certain pieces that they may not necessarily get credit for. But that's a strength, in my opinion.
Absolutely. The Imp says it was 1985. And that's what I thought it was. The Jerry Rice catch. Yep. Yeah. It was 1985. But we got payback on him in the playoffs. We beat him 17-3. Yeah, play out. We got him back. GD, thank you, my friend. I appreciate you, brother. He says, revenge time. Remember when the Eagles sat their starters and allowed Washington to win the game and the Giants missed the playoffs? Revenge time. Well, I'll say this. As I said in my video, we were 6-10. We should have won more. That's our fault. The Eagles didn't owe us. All the Eagles owed us was 4 quarters of football. They didn't even owe us. They should have just played their starters for 4 quarters. Even Jalen Hurts said it ain't right. So they owed us that. They probably would have lost anyway. They were a terrible team in 2020. But you know what, man? Revenge is a dish best served cold. And maybe on a cold January day in a couple of weeks, we'll really give them the ultimate revenge.
That's where the revenge is really going to come. It would be nice to be a thorn in their side this week and knock them out of the number 1 seed. It would be a lot nicer to get them in the second round of the playoffs and send Jalen Hurts packing. That's when it's really going to count. If we do see them in the second round, if we beat Minnesota, I don't think we're going to beat them this week. I'm going to root my ass off for it,
of course.
And I think it would be a huge springboard into the playoffs if we did. But I don't think we're going to play all our starters. And I think I'm not saying we're not going to play them at all. I think we will. But I think there's going to be a point in this game where Dable says, "All right, I think he's going to handle it like a preseason game. Like the third preseason game." Probably play
dress rehearsal type of thing.
Yeah. Now, if say the Giants have the lead at halftime, he's probably going to roll it. He's probably going to be like, "Listen,
he might.
Let's win this game. Let's build, or at least try to win this game, and let's see if we could build more momentum going into the playoffs." But if the Giants are down by 10 at halftime, I think he'll make some changes because he's going to rest up for the playoffs. That's my prediction, at least going into the game.
I agree. By the way, we got almost 1,000 people in here, so thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out. But hit that thumbs up, guys and girls. We got 246 likes. We got 930 people in here. It don't add up. Hit the thumbs up. It's free. Let's rate us. Subscribe to the channel. The Giants go to the damn playoffs. If you can't hit the thumbs up for that, what are you going to hit it for, right? Hit that thumbs up. And make sure that as you go into the description, if you're not subscribed to Chris, I don't know where you've been, but subscribe to the Up Tainah because we'll be on his channel Sunday doing the Eagles and Giants. We'll be making fun of the Eagles. We'll be having a good time. We're talking about the game, but talking about whatever because it really don't matter. So you're going to want to tune in for that.
But trust me, if we're in that game.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to be into it because you're going to have an opportunity to really damage the Philadelphia Eagles, and nothing would make me happier than to damage the Philadelphia Eagles this week if we have the opportunity.
No doubt. Chris Epp, thanks so much, man. Appreciate the super chat. He says, do you guys know anything about Solomon Kindley? Seen a lot of praise of him on Twitter over the last couple of months as a top practice squad guy. I do not.
No, I've heard the name, but I don't know much about him.
Do not know much about him at
all. I wish I did.
Ernie 8-bit.
I heard the name, though, but go ahead, Beto.
I was going to say, Ernie 8-bit, thank you. My favorite video game console was 8-bit. That was the NES. The original Nintendo Entertainment System. There's not a better video game console out there. I don't care about graphics. The gameplay on NES was fantastic. He says, did you see Ron Rivera didn't know they were eliminated? I did not see that.
Yeah, I did see that. Ron Rivera, after the game, was asked if they get eliminated from playoff contention after the 4 o'clock time slot. I forgot what the question was. Like, would he handle a certain position group? Maybe it was the quarterback. I can't recall. And then he said, we could be eliminated today. And then he said, yeah, if so-and-so wins, you'll be mathematically eliminated. So he didn't know, which is insane.
Oh.
That's insane.
I don't think he's coming back.
You want to talk about a coach that, like, doesn't, you got to know that. Like, you got to be prepared, for all these different scenarios going in. So he definitely embarrassed himself for sure.
Yeah, I think he's done. I think the change of Carson Wentz was unwarranted. You didn't need to go there. Just finish out the year with Heineke. Heineke was the whole reason you were even in the situation you were in.
He's going to be fired. I won't say definitively, but I'm leaning he's going to be fired. And I thought that long before that press conference. I thought that it makes sense if they miss the playoffs this year that they'll move off of him.
Avery, thank you so much, man. Really appreciate it. He says, Davs have been saving Saquon Wildcat touchdown pass to DJ. Maybe. That's a possibility.
Hey, who knows? I think he's got something planned for the playoffs. I don't know what it is. I'm not even saying it's necessarily a trick play, but I think they're going to come out with a different flavor for the playoffs. They're saving something for the playoffs. I promise you that.
Agreed. Brody, man, thank you for the super chat, brother. Appreciate it. He says, in my opinion, the reason DJ gets hate is because of his name and that he has been bad in the past. If he was a first round if he was a first round quarterback, he'd be more appreciated. Well, he was a first round.
Yeah, he was a first round quarterback.
But I think he meant second, like after, right? If he wasn't a first round pick, yeah, I think if Daniel Jones was a second round pick, we'd have no problem with him.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think at this point, the biggest reason why Daniel Jones still gets hate,
because people don't want to admit they were wrong.
Well, that's a big part of it. There's a lot of reasons, but I think the biggest reason is because everybody hates Dave Gettleman. Like deep down, like everybody hates Dave Gettleman, and they know if Daniel Jones turns out to be the franchise quarterback for the New York Giants, Dave Gettleman's going to have to get credit. And okay. I think that plays a factor, though. I'm not saying it should. It definitely shouldn't. But I think that plays a factor. I think there's some fans that are like, I don't want Gettleman getting any credit for this. I would rather Shane go out and get his quarterback. I think there's something to that.
I guess. And maybe they don't, again, a lot of people don't view Daniel Jones as an elite. He's not an elite quarterback. He'll never be an elite quarterback. Okay. Top 10. Yeah. He can be a very good quarterback, a Pro Bowl quarterback. I think that's within him. He's not Joe Burrow. He's not Josh Allen. He's not Pat Mahomes. And the Giants fans that want to hate on Daniel Jones, just think that guy's readily there. That no matter who they take, you got to get Anthony Richardson. That guy's going to be great. No, even if he is, he ain't falling to us if he's going to be that great. So how the hell are you going to get him? Are you going to mortgage your future for an unknown guy coming out of college? You can't do that. That's not the way you build a football team, man. So, no, I think that's another part of it. They just don't. They want that Justin Herbert. They want that Joe Burrow. They want that. Well, they don't grow on trees. It's hard to find those guys. It's hard to find a Trevor Lawrence. And if you're going to find a Trevor Lawrence, you have to be picking first.
It's hard to find Daniel Jones.
Exactly. As Washington, if they wish that Daniel Jones fell to them, or Denver, who took Drew Lock.
You know how many teams would want Daniel Jones right now as their quarterback? I promise you a lot more than a lot of people think.
Probably 15 to 18.
He's a good quarterback that's, I think, going to get better.
I do too.
Daniel Jones is a good quarterback. I'm happy that he's a Giant.
Edward, thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. He says Eli's first playoff run equaled Super Bowl. Can DJ do it? Well, it was Eli's third
playoff run.
His 2005 year was awful. We got crushed by Carolina 23-0. He had like 100 yards passing, 3 interceptions. Never forget it. My buddy Frank came over. That's the guy I have the fantasy team, but I've known Frank for 30 some odd years. We've been really good friends. I remember could just pause the TV at that time. So they're getting ready to kick off. I paused it. We ran down to Taco Bell, got something to eat. And they were like, we're going to come back. We're ready for Giants playoffs because the Giants hadn't been in the playoffs since 2002. And we were utterly disappointed. And then we lost on a field goal to Philadelphia the year after that. Then Eli. But Edward, in his 4th season, Eli brought us to the Super Bowl. This is Daniel Jones's 4th season. That, it could be a correlation. Long shot, but you never know.
Yeah, you never know.
A long shot.
Like going into the playoffs last year, and nobody thought Cincinnati was going to be going to a Super Bowl.
Right. Listen, Chris, a long shot's better than no shot, right?
But this team's not comparable to that 2007 team. That 2007 team had one of the best lines in the league on both sides of the ball, defensive line and offensive line. They had really good weapons, Amani Toomer and Plaxico Burress.
Steve Smith,
and it's not even comparable from a talent standpoint. But
they had Shockey for a lot of the year too.
Yeah, you never know. That's why you want to give yourself an opportunity. You never know.
Like I said, long shot's better than no shot.
Yeah.
Mike Moran, thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. Remember that play when in London, Bellinger was going to throw it to DJ, but just tucked it and ran? I do.
Yes.
Yep.
It's
a smart play by Bellinger.
Yes.
Smart 100%. Play. So you never know. Maybe we do something like that again. I'm just glad Bellinger's healthy and back. I think Bellinger makes a big difference, especially in the red zone. KN, thank you so much, man. Really appreciate this. If we play Minnesota, Quads needs to keep the chains moving on Kendricks and Hicks. We got to double Jefferson one-on-one versus everyone else. Tall task, but doable. We should have beat them last
time. They're going to move the ball on us, KN. They're going to. There's no doubt about it. They have too much talent at the wide receiver position.
We're going to be able to run it on them.
Yeah, that's one thing. And I loved, and I'm not saying get away from it because we were able to throw all over them. But I do want to see them be a bit more balanced the next time we play Minnesota. I'd like to see them get the run game established a bit more. I'm not saying be super run heavy, but I want to see them use Barkley a bit more the next time we play Minnesota.
Yeah, I think we will.
Yeah,
I think we will. Tommy, thank you for the super chat, man. I appreciate you. He says, started watching you guys was the Dexter Lawrence flag against DC. That was
Oh,
tough. Looked like we were going to 1-1, and you never know from there. And that was a kick in the nuts.
Oh, yeah. And then we had another really tough loss too last year. The Atlanta game. We should have won that probably.
Yep.
We were this close last year to starting off pretty good, and then obviously everything went under. We probably should have been 6-5 with Jones last year before he got hurt,
right?
And then we ended up going 0-6 without him. But it is what it is. I'm glad that everything worked out this year.
Yeah, we didn't even. It was unwatchable without Daniel Jones.
Oh my God! I said it on Twitter like a week ago that Daniel Jones is this team's MVP, and a lot of people said I think it's Andrew Thomas. And listen, Andrew Thomas is a better football player than Daniel Jones. Andrew Thomas might be the best left tackle in football, but I don't think he's the MVP. My definition of MVP is who adds the most wins and who would affect the team in the win-loss column the most if they went down with an injury or they got replaced. And Daniel Jones last year, we went 0-6. Andrew Thomas played every one of those games. But you saw what the team looked like when Daniel Jones was not in the lineup, when you had a backup quarterback. So,
and we had no Barkley either. I mean, he was gone
a
lot of the year. So best thing that happened to me last year was that picture of Philly 500 in the Giants gear, because I bet him at the beginning of the year, and somehow, some way, we found a way to win that game. And I didn't have to wear that damn Eagles crap, and he had to wear the Giants stuff, and that was the best. It was the best thing that happened to me on YouTube until this year. So as fun as it was making Philly 500 wear a Giants jersey and a Giants hat when he streamed the Eagles Giants game, this is way better. DRL, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. Says, when we beating Dallas next year, or will we see them in the playoffs? Being a Giants fan in Texas hasn't been easy. Oh, you're in enemy territory. We get a lot of them. Texas, Philadelphia. I don't see why we couldn't beat Dallas next year.
This year. Let's get them in the second round and beat them.
That'd be fun. I think we wouldn't get them in the second round, though.
Well, we could. The way we could get them is if the Packers beat the Niners, and if the Cowboys beat the Bucks, we'd get the Cowboys in the second round.
Is that how that works?
The Cowboys would be the 5 versus the 6.
Right, that's right.
And the Eagles would play the 7 with the Packers.
We could get revenge on them too.
Yeah. So
I'll be honest though. As good as Philadelphia is, I still think we match up better with them than Dallas. I don't like our matchup, but they have 2 really good running backs.
Yeah.
CD Lamb, and I'm not taking anything away from Miles Sanders or AJ Brown or Devontae Smith or any of those guys. But Philadelphia's defense does not worry me like Dallas's does. Dallas' defense worries me because they have just had their way with their offensive line, and that scares me more than anything else. But again, they're both be really tough. On paper, they're way better than we are. There's no question about that. But Chris Berman, as he says, that's why you play the games. I'll tell you what, Dira, let's just get to let's get by Minnesota, and let's see where
worry about it after that.
Fall where they may.
One game at a time.
The Imp, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. He says, 3rd week, we start to look. Who you kidding? Oh, about the draft? It seemed that way.
Yeah,
it seemed that way.
First week. I mean, some of these years.
Of course. Yeah. We got past Halloween. I was happy at that point, and just happy we made Thanksgiving, and then Christmas. I was like, wow, it's a bonus. And here we are. Like I said, we're going in the middle of January. We're gonna have meaningful Giants football. It's insane to think we're going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah,
it's been a long 5 years, guys, girls. This has been a long 5 years. Hopefully the next 5 years are fantastic. Can you imagine what it would be to win a Super Bowl? How awesome this show would be as Super Bowl champs. I mean, the show is awesome anyway, but
oh my God,
imagine wearing that crown.
Oh, forget it.
Being able to brag about that. Told you, Eagle fans would never come over here if that happened, ever.
Yeah, for sure.
K-Wall, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Hamlin's awake. Yeah, we heard about that. It's great news. Scary sight to see. Glad that kid is going to make it. God and his healing powers continue to perform miracles. That was some of the best news. Or that shook me up when I saw that. And I saw it knowing something bad happened because I saw the replay of it. I wasn't watching the game, but I'm glad he's better. I'm glad that he's going to make a full recovery. That is great news. I know a lot of people were praying for him, and I know, like I said, there's one thing I could say. A lot of times I lose my faith in humanity, but just watching the way so many people came together to support him and his charity and all this other stuff. restored my faith in humanity a little bit. Because like I said, at the end of the day, most people are good people. There's just some assholes that are just miserable fuckbags, and there's nothing you can do about it. But at the end of the day, most people are good people.
When I saw it live, and I'm gonna be honest with you, Bad Dog. When I saw the players' reactions, I thought he was dead.
Yeah.
Like when I saw the players' reactions, I was like, "This don't look good."
No.
So it's great that it sounds like, I don't know if it's official yet, but he's awake, and it sounds like it's trending towards he's going to be fine and he's going to be okay. And it scared the hell out of me when I watched it, because when you saw him collapse, when I first saw him collapse, it was kind of like, all right, maybe he's just
concussions. What I thought,
concussion, whatever. But then when I saw the replay and I saw even though in live time, even in slow motion, the collision didn't look like an out of the ordinary collision, but when I saw his helmet hit his heart, and then I heard that they were doing the CPR, I was like, wow, this is bad. So thank God, thank God he's all right. And that could have been devastating. So I'm
without a doubt. Without a doubt. JC, thank you for super chat. Wink likes 54. I see him back for depth. He's okay.
Yeah. And we'll see. We'll see.
I'm going to ask Chris, JC there, a little bit of UCF Jaguar?
Maybe a little bit.
A little bit?
Maybe a little bit.
Okay.
A little bit.
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 Raphael, thank you so much. Appreciate it. He says, those nonsense streams are funny. Remember those? Oh, yeah. That was a big deal, the nonsense streams. I was talking about that the other day, how we were doing like a basketball game or something, and the game was way out of hand, and we just started talking about nonsense, and that became a thing for a couple of months during the off season. And you might get some of that Sunday, so you want to tune in, because
Sunday I don't know if we'll go full nonsense, but it'll be
right. It might be like if the Giant starters come out, it might be some nonsense.
It'll be a relaxed stream.
Yeah. Wolves, thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. He says, my first intro to Chris and the Bad Dog was the draft reaction, as was most. It said it in the last stream. Wolves, never live it down. It doesn't matter. It'll keep popping up. It's everywhere. And that's what happens when you go viral. Like I said, who doesn't want to make a viral video? Who doesn't want the video to go viral? That is not what I was hoping for. No. When I went viral, but I did get a lot of attention for that particular reaction.
Yeah, not my proudest moment, but
right, not my best moment.
I'm glad that that Jones is making us look like fools right now.
Absolutely. Like I said, not just us. It's just ours was recorded.
Yeah.
It's easy to go back. It's easy to go back when you don't have a channel, or you just type, or you're just on Twitter. Oh, I knew Daniel Jones would be good. You guys suck. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. I knew he's sure. Yeah. Like all the Eagle fans that all of a sudden knew Jalen Hurts was going to be great, although 90% of them wanted him out of town last year. But that is what it is. If that makes people feel good about themselves to say that, more power to you. The Imp, I told you he was old, guys. Thank you for super chat. He says, I was busting tables at the Last Supper. I'm in the picture. Right, Vlad the Impaler. The Impaler.
He's the man. What's up, man?
He is the man. Imp is hilarious, man. Whoops, where'd I go there? College guy, my friend. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. Chris, DJ, great pick, but would you still pick him at 6?
I'm gonna be honest with you, college guy. Yes, actually. On draft night, I would not have. But in hindsight, now listen, if I knew I get Justin Herbert in the following draft, maybe I wait, but there's no way I could have known that. You don't know how the draft would have played out had we taken a certain player, where we would have finished in the standings. But yeah, I mean, in hindsight, you look back at that draft, Bad Dog. Yeah, I think I would have taken Daniel Jones at 6 now. Seeing how he's starting the trend towards, it's very rare that a quarterback sees a second contract, regardless of where they're taken in the draft. I think Jones is going to. I think he's at least a slightly above average starter in the NFL, and the quarterback's the most valuable position on a football team. So, yes, I think if I was doing a redraft today, I think I'd keep Daniel Jones at 6, which I would not have said before the year started.
I have to agree. Again, the year he was drafted 6th, I remember I was pissed off. I was mad at the draft. Chris and I wanted Josh Allen, not the quarterback, the defensive end that went to Jacksonville. We loved him. Kid out of Kentucky, thought he was great. and we couldn't believe that he fell. We couldn't believe that Clelin Ferrell went to Los Angeles at the time, the Raiders. And we're sitting there, we got to get Josh Allen.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted. And when they said Daniel Jones, I just lost my mind. And after the fact, I watched some film on him, and I was like, oh, I like Daniel Jones. I think he could be really good. I said he could be better than Dwayne Haskins. And I remember when I did that video, man, I got killed by people. You know what you're talking about. He could be better than Dwayne Haskins. And I kept saying that. There was rumors that Denver wanted Jones at 10 and Washington wanted him at 15. He probably wasn't going to get to 17. But like Chris said, think about this. The year before, who was the number 1 pick? Baker Mayfield. Jones better than Baker Mayfield? Yeah. Who was the 3rd pick in the draft? Sam Darnold? Is
better now, but Jones
is he better? Is he better than Sam Darnold?
Yeah.
Like I said, is he better than Kyler Murray? This year he is.
Rosen? Josh Rosen?
Better than Josh Rosen, right? So I'm just talking about the guys that went ahead of him in the previous years.
And you also have to factor in how do they fit for this team,
right?
Because New York, a lot of people scoff over that. It's different being the quarterback for the New York Giants than it is the Arizona Cardinals, than it is the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's a big market. It's a high-pressured situation, and not everybody is built to handle it. And to be honest with you, the way Kyle Murray handled the media this year, I don't know how well he was equipped.
He would have done terrible here.
So I think Daniel Jones had the right demeanor. I think that had something to do with why the New York Giants were interested in him, and I think he's built to play in New York. I do. I think he's very similar to Eli in that aspect, his personality.
I'll tell you what, and Daniel Jones is much harder worker than Kyler Murray, and that's something I didn't know coming out of Oklahoma because I can't know that about Kyler Murray, but he doesn't work. It's why it's in his contract. They had to watch a certain amount of film. I don't care how talented you are. You can't rest on your talent alone in the NFL. Everybody's talented at this level.
Yeah.
So you got to work your ass up.
Now, I will say, if I was doing a redraft today, I think I'd keep the Dexter Lawrence pick as well. Yeah. Which probably wouldn't
have the DeAndre Baker pick, we can throw that one away.
The DeAndre Baker pick, in hindsight, you take a wide receiver there. There was a lot of good wide receivers in that draft. You had the dude on the 49ers, what's his name?
Deebo Samuel.
Deebo Samuel had A.J. Brown. Both of them went in the second round. And there was another one. I think DK Metcalf as well was in that draft. So if I was doing a redraft, that would be the pick I would change. But I think I'd keep the 6 and 17 pick the same if I was doing that draft today. So Dave Gettleman did a good job in that draft.
He did.
In hindsight.
He did. Mr. Mini Guy, thank you for the super chat. He says Gettleman was good at drafts, bad at contracts.
Bad at free agents.
He was bad at free agents. He was bad. Will, thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. What do y'all think DJ's true ceiling is? Top 10, top 5. I think between 9th and 12th. Maybe 8th.
I don't know. I honestly can't tell you what his ceiling is. He's definitely
he's not top 5.
He's definitely capable of being a top 10 quarterback.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that right now.
He's not going to be with the likes of Allen.
Probably not. No. Probably not. I will never write anything off, but no, I'm definitely not leaning there. But here's what I'll say. I already think he's with the likes of Cousins and Dak.
Without a doubt.
He's already in that class. So if you consider those guys top 10 quarterbacks, like he's, maybe you're splitting hairs, but he's in that tier for me.
He's probably better than Tannehill at this point.
I'd take him over Tannehill, but he's in that Cousins, Dak tier for me. The question for me is, can he become more than that? Second year in the offense with more help. I know the stats don't say it, but give Daniel Jones those guys weapons, and give him Justin Jefferson, give him T.J. Hawkinson, give him 3-4 years in the same offense.
Give him A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith.
He could put up numbers. So, in terms of he's in that class for me. The question is, can he be more than that?
Right. Marma Gazar Bazaar. That is a hell of a name. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. He says, I think Landon Collins should come back for 1 or 2 more seasons. What do you guys think?
I would like him. I mean, again, it comes down to money.
Right. Everything comes down to money. We got a lot of guys who got to sign.
Yeah, but if he's willing to come back here on a cost-effective contract, I see no reason not to bring him back. But it depends on his market. It depends on what teams are willing to offer him. Giants can't give him a whole lot. They got to bring back a lot of players. But if it makes sense, I'd like to have him back.
Absolutely. I agree. Agreed. Chris, my friend, thank you for the super chat, man. Appreciate you. Bad Dog. Did you tell Tainah that me and him walked into the stadium with David Tyree at the game?
Yes, we did. I didn't get an opportunity to talk to him, but I was basically side by side with Tyree. We walked in with the marching band and David Tyree. It was awesome. Getting to see David Tyree interact with the fans. He was taking pictures with everybody. seemed like a really down to earth guy. But yeah, got to hang out with David
He-
Tyree for about.
I
20
can tell you,
minutes.
I have met David Tyree, and he is a very down to earth guy. That's a picture he signed for me. The catch, and it says he signed it. And it says God did it because my wife used to work at a college in Albany, and he went and visited the kids there, and she's like, "Hey, David Tyree's coming here. Do you want to come down?" And I'm like, "Yes, yes, I want to go down there." So, yeah, he was a very down to earth, very humble guy. It's his nature. I also follow him on Instagram. He's like I said, he's very down to earth, very religious, humble guy. So, if anybody deserved that, it was him. So
Yeah,
that was awesome.
he seemed like a great guy.
Sebastian, thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. He says, I love when the media says they don't want to talk about stats with Jones, but will compare his stats to other quarterbacks based on their stats.
It's just silly. Like, everybody knows that with a brain that if Daniel Jones played for the Vikings, his stats would look completely different. Everybody knows with a brain if Daniel Jones played for the Cowboys or the Eagles, his stats would look completely different. There's a difference between throwing to TJ Hockenson and Justin Jefferson or Devontae Smith and AJ Brown
or CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup,
Michael Gallup, and throwing to guys that couldn't even make the squad for the Buffalo Bills. Right now, Hodgins is our number one receiver, couldn't even make the practice squad. And the same thing with Richie James, couldn't stick with the 49ers. There's a difference. So to me, if you're judging quarterbacks just based off stats, you're not taking into account the whole situation. Daniel Jones has been able to drag a team like the New York Giants, who are very limited in a lot of areas, to the playoffs. There's value in that.
And he has elevated guys like Richie James and guys like Isaiah Hodgins.
Yeah.
And Daniel Bellinger.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Lancey, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Give Isaiah Hodgins Kenny Galladay's contract. Listen, I love Isaiah Hodgins. I don't want to give anybody Kenny Galladay's contract. Let's get rid of that and get some more players in here. But yes, Hodgins, we were talking about this in the last stream. Hodgins has started the last 5 games, has put up the production we expected from Kenny Galladay. He's become a much more cost-effective.
I just got 4 touchdowns in his last 5 games.
That's what I'm saying. That's what we expected from Kenny Galladay.
He's played great for the Giants, and he doesn't have a drop. 48 targets, doesn't have a drop.
Yeah.
He's been great.
He's been awesome. He's been fantastic. Good size, good hands. That's what you want, man. Daniel Jones Burner, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. He says, I went from being a depressed man to a thankful one, but watching you guys always kept. Did I read that or did you super chat that?
You must have sent it twice by accident.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, listen, like I said before, you guys and girls have made it fun for us. It's nice to have 3,000 to 4,000 shoulders to cry on when they've been terrible. And, I know a lot of people love my rants, and trust me, they're always genuine. Haven't had many rants this year. The game against Minnesota pissed me off. I'm not gonna lie, and it's not because I thought we played bad. It's because I was just upset that they won. Because I swear to God, we were winning the game, winning overtime. I was like disbelief. Like, of course, the guy was going to hit the 61-yarder. Of course,
yeah,
of course. And we had a chance to clinch the playoffs. On top of it, like we could have clinched that week. Not that I was scared of the Colts, but I was like, I'd rather just be a sure thing because you never know.
Right. You never know.
But that's the only time I've really been mad this year. Even when they lost, I wasn't really ever pissed off. I didn't like the fact we tied Washington. I thought we let that get away too. But other than that, even when we lost to Seattle, I wasn't really mad. It was more disappointment. So I liked her. I don't mind a good rant, but I'd much rather be happy about them than have to scream at the camera because they suck. This is way better. Way better. I'm a Giants fan, man. I want them to win, baby. I want them to win. JD, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. One DJ hater I haven't seen, guys, and gotten into a lot of disagreements, Chris, is Roldy.
Yeah.
Where is Roldy? That's a good call. I have not seen Roldy.
I talk to Roldy from time to time on Twitter, but I don't see him on YouTube.
That's true. He says, is he in a fetal position in his bedroom? I demand the chat to call him in here and apologize and say DJ is the man. I tell you, until you mentioned it, I didn't even.
He used to come at me in every chat, and I'm sure he would if he was here now because he just disagrees with me with everything I say. But yeah, I haven't seen Roldy recently on YouTube. He messaged me on Twitter from time to time.
Yeah, that's true. I have not seen him. I'll tell you who else I haven't seen in here or on my channel is Jeffrey Abbey. I do not see Jeffrey Abbey anywhere.
Jeffrey Abbey.
I don't see Jeffrey Abbey anywhere. And I wonder, I mean, it's just amazing how they just kind of disappeared. See, when you
Jeffrey
have a channel,
Abbey.
right? When
Huh.
you have a channel and you put your face out there and your opinion out there, well, you have to sit here and eat it sometimes. And that's okay. I will gladly eat the crow for Daniel Jones. I have no problem. I'll eat that shit raw. Okay. I don't care. So,
Jeffrey Abbey had like 15 Daniel Jones voodoo dolls at his house. And he's just stabbing him with pins, hoping he gets hurt. Like he is one fan, and again, you root for the team however you want, but he is one fan that actually I think would be happy if Daniel Jones got hurt. Like he legitimately has like hate for Daniel. Hates him like as a person.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. By the way, we got 960 in here. We got 391 likes. Let's get that to 500. We can get that to 500. We can get that to 500 right now. Smash that thumbs up. It's free, costs nothing. It literally takes no effort to hit the thumbs up, but it helps out the stream. And more than the playoffs, guys, girls. It's been so long. Positive vibes, baby. Also, make sure, like I said, if you're not subscribed to Chris, don't know where you've been, go into the description. The link's there. Subscribe to Chris. We'll be live for the Eagles and the Giants on his channel, probably about 4 o'clock on Sunday. They play at 4:25. Come on over. We'll enjoy the game. We'll have some fun. The game really don't matter. Of course, we want to beat the Eagles, but regardless of what happens, the week after is really what matters. V-Rock, thank you for the super chat. He says Rivera stays if they crush Dallas on Sunday. I don't know.
Sherlock Holmes, I've seen him say it a couple of times. These guys don't know what they're talking about. These two have overrated Daniel Jones. I don't think we've overrated Daniel Jones, but that's your opinion. Everybody has to have like top 10. Listen, this is how I rate Daniel Jones. There's 5 quarterbacks in the NFL right now that I view as elite. They would elevate a team, any team they were on, and that is Joe Burrow. That's in no specific order, so don't anybody say, oh, Chris, how do you have Joe Burrow 1? Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes, Trevor Lawrence, and who am I forgetting? Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence, Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, and there's one other.
Justin Herbert.
Even though Justin Herbert this year hasn't been great, but I will throw him in there. He is very gifted. I will throw those 5 in there. After that, I have about 10 quarterbacks, however you want to order them, that I think if all things were equal would be fairly comparable. I put Daniel Jones in that 10 quarterback grouping after those elite quarterbacks. You put Daniel Jones on the Philadelphia Eagles, he's putting up numbers and he's winning a ton of games. You put Daniel Jones on the Minnesota Vikings, he's putting up numbers and he's winning a ton of games. That's how I evaluate Daniel Jones. I think that's fair.
I don't know how we're overrating him. We're not saying that he's an elite quarterback. We're not saying he's a top 5 quarterback. We're not even saying he's a top 10 quarterback. Where do you think he rates?
Yeah.
Where do you think he is? He's throwing to Richie James. He's throwing to Isaiah Hodgins. He was throwing to Tanner Hudson earlier in the year, and Marcus Johnson. And we're 9-6-1. He has 5 game-winning touchdown drives. He drove down the field and had a.
I laugh at these fans. This guy Stubby says Daniel Jones is a bottom 5 quarterback. Baddog.
Why do you even bother? The guy don't know anything.
It makes me laugh.
He plays Madden.
The New York Giants have the worst linebacking core in football. They have the worst wide receiving core in football. They have arguably the worst cornerback group in football, and they have one of the worst interior offensive lines in football. Daniel Jones plays the most important position. We're 9-6-1, and he's one of the bottom 5 Like, is Brian Dable the Messiah?
Chris, his name's Stubby. Put it together. He has to have somebody help Velcro his shoes in the morning.
Whatever.
He's drooling all over his keyboard. Yeah, he's a bottom 5 quarterback, so sure. Whatever. A comment like that just makes you look stupid, and it's not funny. You'd look like a damn fool, and nobody's going to take any opinion you have serious. You don't need to like Daniel Jones, but to say he's a bottom 5 quarterback shows one of 2 things: either you just absolutely hate the guy, or you know absolutely less than zero about football. Like I said, the guy like that needs someone to help Velcro his shoes in the morning. There's no doubt about it. Probably has to wear one of them helmets all the time, whatever. Michael Cerrone, thank you for the super chat. He says, I stand with Danny Dimes. Let's go. Let's go,
Michael. Let's go.
Let's go, baby. L.A. Lou, thank you so much for the super chat, man. I appreciate you, brother. He says, there are only maybe 2 quarterbacks in the draft that are first-round talents. The rest are just the best of the rest, and they are all.
Question marks.
Yep.
Who knows? You never know. The quarterback's the most unpredictable position in all of sports. Fans are going to have their guy. They're going to say, that guy's going to be the next great guy. And when he's not, you'll never hear from him. And if he hits, they'll say they're brilliant. But quarterbacks,
right? Or they could say the guy sucks, and then he ends up being good. And like I told you,
yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, listen, I think Stroud's. I'll tell you what, I've been like a roller coaster with Stroud this year.
He played good against Georgia.
He looked great. He looked great.
Bryce Young looked great against K-State.
I think he's going first overall now. That's how impressed I was with Stroud that national championship game. But he ain't getting to the Giants. And Bryce Young, obviously, is going to be, if he's not going first, he's going top 5.
Right.
So,
yep. Those are definitely the two guys.
Stroud looked great. Fantastic.
He did.
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody would have told me for the game that, Ohio State was going to put up 45 or whatever the hell they put up, I would have said they're going to win that game.
Yeah.
No question about it. Jake, my goat. Thank you for becoming a member, man. By the way, you got one of my favorite basketball players there, Jason Tatum's man. He says, Jake, my goat, welcome to the Dog Pound. Dog Pound members, you know what to do. Welcome, Jake, my goat, into the Dog Pound. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. Samuel C., thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you, brother. He says, a playoff team with many needs. How will we address it?
The draft.
The draft.
It's not going to happen in 1 year, Samuel. It takes time to build a football team. We're building from the bottom up.
We have 11 picks, so we got a good start.
We're going to start with the draft. We're going to keep building. These younger players are going to get better. You also have to take that into account. Evan Neal is going to be less of a hole next year. He's going to be better. Kayvon Thibodeau is going to be better, which is scary, but he will be better. Wan'Dale Robinson hopefully comes back. He will be better. These younger players will grow, and we will continue to build through the draft. That's what the New York Giants are going to do. And and we got the coach that's going to get the most out of these players. So it's going to be a fun ride. I really think.
So Asia Roberson in the chat. Always love to say hello to Asia. How you doing, my lady? Always good to see you in the chat. A little behind in the chat. So sorry about that, guys and girls. New York Giants 26. Thank you for super chat. Says this future pass rush got me feeling good. I'm a defensive guy. I love it. Like I said, we're all those people that are like, oh, Kayvon Thibodeau's a bust. He got no sacks after the game against Dallas. He just come in and be Micah Parsons. Can he be Kayvon Thibodeau? How about now? He's been one of the best defensive players in the league in the last month.
Been great. He's been incredible.
He's been awesome. But yes, get him and Aziz together. Whew, I love it, man. NY Giants, thank you again, my friend. Defensive line is the best defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence is the best defensive tackle in football. No,
he's up there.
He's definitely up there.
He's been great this year. I won't go with the best, but he's up there.
I still got to get Aaron Donald. I still got to give him.
But he's up there. He's up there.
Yeah, definitely. Edward, thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. In any circumstance, you take back Flowers. No. I'll give Daniel Jones his flowers for being great this year, but no, I don't want Eric Flowers.
Flowers would never want to play here. He hated New York. He said that after the fact. He would never want to come back here. But
the feeling was mutual. We didn't
the
really.
Feeling was very mutual. But no. I know he turned out to be a decent guard after he left the Giants, but no, would never want him back.
Hell to the no. JC, thank you again, my friend. Appreciate it. It's his first time I listened to this guy, Tim, a few days ago. He has a Giants YouTube channel. I can't believe how bad he talks about DJ. He contradicts himself a lot. Well, again, I mean, everybody has their opinion. And some people, like I said, they're not going to waver. And listen, Tim's watched the Giants for a long time. So, like I said, there's just some people, they're not going to change their mind. And listen, if Daniel Jones had a bad year, there was definitely people that were supporting him no matter what that would have said it's not his fault. It's just, again, I know that he doesn't want Daniel Jones. He wants more of a, an exciting quarterback, if you will. I don't know, people like, to me, Daniel Jones, again, they call him Vanilla Vic, right? They call him Vanilla Vic, not because he's vanilla, but because he can run. They like to put him, he's white. He's Michael Vick. Michael Vick ran a lot, whatever. But some people think he's just vanilla, like he's boring. And they don't like that. They want a guy that is exciting. They want that Kyler Murray type of guy, or, the guy that can run the 4.340, or a guy like Joe Burrow that can throw the ball 70 yards down the field. They want Pat Mahomes. Like I said, that doesn't just grow on trees. You don't just find those guys. You don't just find Trevor Lawrence's in the draft. It's hard to get a franchise quarterback. Ask the Jets how hard it is.
I don't think Daniel Jones is boring.
Well, so I'm saying some people do though, because he doesn't
Yeah,
throw
I
for
don't.
360 yards and
I
3
don't.
touchdowns. You know,
I think you're going to see an exciting Daniel Jones next year in the second year in this offense with more help, but we'll see.
yeah, this year though, I'm saying this year.
Yeah, well, I just
He's
think
limited. He's limited in what he can
he's
do.
limited because of the team, but I think he's got more talent than a lot of people think.
Yeah. But listen, I've always liked Tim. I work with Tim. Tim and I did see for most of the time eye to eye about Daniel Jones, but I've changed my mind. He hasn't. But I've always liked Tim. I like working with Tim, and I think he's a good dude. He just doesn't like Daniel Jones. That's all I can say. Jatan, thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. He says, feels a lot like 2007. God, I'm praying it is. How about you? Yeah, I would love it to be 2007. It's a good year.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I pray. This team is not as good as that team, but hey, that's why they play. Like, I'm curious to see. Like, obviously, in hindsight, everybody says, the Bengals were in a much better situation than the Giants were going in the playoffs. But when the playoffs started last year, nobody really thought that high about Cincinnati.
No,
the opinions
kind of like,
changed.
they got in the playoffs. What a nice story.
Nice story. They got kind of like us. Nice story. So that's why you play the games. And I'm not saying Daniel Jones, Joe Burrow. I'm not saying that. But let's see what happens.
Yep.
Let's find out.
MP97, thank you for the super chat. Is that Sterling Shepard? Who is that on?
Yeah, it is.
He says Daniel Jones can have my first wife. I'm sure he appreciates that, MP. I'm sure he appreciates that, my friend. Irish Rover, my friend, thank you so much for the super chat, brother. I really appreciate it. He says, I just want to say thank you. I didn't know anything about YouTube until 2020 when I found Baddog and Chris on a New York Giants Google search. Your Giants content and sub chats make me feel like I'm back home talking with friends. We really appreciate that, Irish Rover. Appreciate all the support. You're a great guy. You've been here. You support a lot of Giants content creators.
Yeah.
And glad that you're along for the ride. We're glad that you're all along for the ride. Hopefully the ride lasts a lot longer than one playoff game. But this has been an awesome year. Definitely the best year as far as Giants football goes that Chris and I have had by a mile. By a mile. So,
yeah, we appreciate Irish Rover's always in our streams. We appreciate all your support, everybody's support that's in the streams that watches the videos. We appreciate all you guys. So thank you.
Davey Anonymous says Roldy changed his name.
Oh, did he? I have no idea.
I didn't know either. If he did, I don't know what it is. Jarrell Parker, thank you for the super chat. He says, just imagine if we still had Wan'Dale Robinson going into the playoffs. Been watching you guys since 2019. Other guys since 2019.
I'm excited for Wan'Dale Robinson next year. I mean, I hope he's the same player. That's a serious injury, but I like Wan'Dale Robinson. I think he'd be a good receiver. But the ACL, who knows how he'll respond to it. But I liked what I saw before he got hurt.
I want to give a guy some credit here. I want to give Lorenzo some credit. He says, it's hard to eat what you say. I can say I was wrong on Jones, but it's better a crazy roller coaster. Lorenzo, shout out to you, man. I don't know if you have a YouTube channel or not, but I have seen you in comments before. But shout out to you for owning it. It's not really a big deal. You know, some people, like I said, they just can't admit they're wrong. I don't know if it's an ego thing or an insecurity thing, but it takes a big person, a confident person, to say, I was wrong about that. So
anybody, and Lorenzo, shout out to you, because there's a lot of people that don't.
The pro analysts got this wrong with Daniel Jones.
Okay? Everybody's going to be wrong when you have opinions on players. I respect people a lot more when they are wrong, that they own up to it. So, right. I like people that rub it in your face when you're wrong about it. Like, what are you doing? Like,
I told you, it's insecurity. It's almost like validation because they don't have anything else to hold on to. They've accomplished nothing. So their accomplishment is, oh, look, I was right, you were wrong.
Or people that like brag when they're right. It's like,
oh, that's the worst.
That's the worst. Like, people like throw out like 100 hot takes and they hit on 3. And they're like, oh, yeah, I knew it. They
never admit they're wrong, though. It's just they're batting 1,000 all the time.
Yeah.
Again, those are people that have very little in life, especially when you're bragging on the internet.
Yeah.
Like, I was wrong a lot, but there's a lot of things I'm right about. And I can be like, oh, look I was right on this. I was right on that. I don't care. I don't give my opinions to be right or wrong. I give my opinions because it's just what I'm feeling in the moment. And moments change. The pulse of sports changes all the time. I say this all the time. Your opinion is going to change. Power rankings in the NFL change every single week. Every single week, the power rankings move all over the place. How do you think they come up with power rankings?
Yeah.
Of course, you're going to change your mind. It happens. It is what it is. But it's okay to be wrong. It's okay to change your mind. I don't know why some people just can't do it. Like I said, it's like a shot at their ego because they're insecure. It's like they feel like somebody will think less of them if they were wrong. And if they do, oh, well, who gives a shit? It's the internet. You know what I mean? My God, like, people come out here, oh, Baddog, you heard this guy said about you. I don't care.
Yeah.
People can say whatever the hell they want about me, man. You know why? I care what my wife, my son think of me. Everybody else, you love me, awesome. You don't, I don't care. That's awesome too. Fantastic. Keep it up. Ethan Cushman. There's a guy that was like,
man, love Cushman.
Cushman was like a freshman in high school. Now he's like in college. That's how long we've been around. Dale Jones owns the trolls. Carry the hell on. Thank you, Ethan. Appreciate it, man. And let's go Yankees, buddy.
Yeah, man. Listen, man, it's easy to root for Daniel Jones with all the hate that he gets. So I hope he keeps owning the trolls.
It is. Noah, thanks so much, brother. Appreciate it. He says, I remember Jeffrey Abbey commented on a Daniel Jones interview before saying he doesn't dress like a franchise quarterback. What does a franchise quarterback dress like? Cam Newton?
Who gives a crap?
Remember when Cam Newton, how he used to come out?
Oh, yeah, with the feather.
Yeah. Is that what a franchise quarterback? I don't know what that means.
Yeah. It doesn't matter how they dress. How do they throw? How do they?
Right.
I don't care about
I always
that.
said, people were like, oh, Odell Beckham's a little fruity. Odell Beckham this. Or I said, Odell Beckham go out there in a freaking high heels or, glass slippers and a tutu. I don't care what he's doing. Just catch touchdowns.
Yeah.
Again, what these guys do in their personal life, I don't care. I don't know them. It doesn't affect me. I don't care. I just win the game. Just do it your job, and I'll love you. I don't care what else you do. Daniel Jones can go up to the podium in his birthday suit. Probably not a great look. But still, I don't care what he does as long as he's winning games. Is my point. But that is pretty funny. No, I didn't know that he said that. I just know Jeffrey Abbey does not. He doesn't
even call him by his name. He calls him
number 8. Yeah.
Yeah.
He calls him number 8. Inside the game, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate the super chat. Potential revenge tour in the making. Vikes, Cowboys, and Eagles. That would be glorious. That would be pretty funny.
One game at a time.
But that would be one hell of a revenge tour.
Vikings first, and then we'll worry about the rest of the rest.
Yeah, we definitely owe the Vikes.
Let's win our. Jones hasn't even played in a playoff game yet, so let's see how we do.
Not technically, but he's played in some playoff.
He's played in playoff atmospheres.
Yeah.
But let's see how we do in our first playoff game. If we lose, that's fine. Manning got embarrassed in his first playoff game, but let's get that experience, and if we do lose, let's grow from it. If we win, great. Let's move on with it.
Jake Schnetzer, thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. I'm just gonna say it. Starting any significant player Sunday is a bad idea. No point. Thoughts?
I think there is a point. I think there's arguments either way. And I understand people that don't want to play anybody, but I also think there is value going up against a team like the Eagles. I think it could build a lot of confidence for this team if they were able to play them tough. And the other thing is this offense has had a lot of rhythm the last 2 weeks. A lot of times, Baddog, going into the playoffs when a team takes a week off, they don't look as good. So I don't know if I want to disrupt that momentum. It's why I think I'd want to play the starters for at least a half. But whatever Dable decides, I'm going to understand whatever decision he makes.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a point because again, Philadelphia embarrassed us on our home field. You want to go out there and you at least want to prove to yourself that you can compete with those guys. They're one of the best teams. I hate them, but they're one of the best teams in the league. So if you can go toe to toe with one of the best teams in the league, then if you do meet them in 2 weeks after Minnesota, then you're going to sit there and go, we have these guys. We can beat these guys. We can play these guys. Now, if they go out there and get embarrassed again, maybe it's a different story. My point is this, and I'll use this again. Why shouldn't they play? Oh, they could get hurt. Like I said, you could be driving to work tomorrow and you can get in a car wreck. Does that mean you're never going to
ATV? How about an ATV?
Right. Does that mean you're never going to drive a car again because you could get in a car wreck? No. So again, I understand you want your guys healthy, you want them to rest. I think if guys are questionable, they don't play. I think if they're 100%, I think they play a half. And whatever Brian Daboll decides to do, if it's a drive, it's a quarter, if it's a half. If the Giants are winning, say 17-13 at the half, and he says, let's go for it. Let's try to win the game. I'm going to get on board with him.
Yeah.
I didn't like to be honest, I did not like Adoree Jackson returning punts. I didn't think that was a good idea. That was not a good idea.
That was unnecessary.
Right.
Yeah.
Some people tell you it's unnecessary for the players to play this week. But like I said, I think for their confidence, and I think confidence goes a long way in the postseason.
I think there's value in either scenario.
Right. So whatever the coach decides to do, he's done a fantastic job this year. He should win Coach of the Year. I'm going to believe in his decision. I'm going to back his decision. I'm not going to be mad either way.
Yeah.
Whatever he decides to do. Brian Daboll's the man. If I ever meet him, beer's on me. The best Savage, thank you, my friend. Appreciate you, brother. He says, look, this is a fact. Daniel Jones is a good quarterback. And as a Giants fan, I can't name a quarterback I'd rather have right now. I feel like I wouldn't trade DJ for no one, man. Go Giants. Let's get revenge on Minnesota. Let's get it.
Hey, man, I'm happy he's a Giant. I want him to be a Giant. Yeah, I think he's meant to play in New York. I'm a big fan of Daniel Jones, and I hope he's here for the next 10 years. I hope he continues to evolve and grow as a quarterback, and we keep winning football games. But Daniel Jones won me over. I want him back here, and I think he could grow into a much better quarterback than what we've seen up to this point.
Absolutely agree. Yeah, I mean, I want him to be the franchise quarterback. You know, when I was critical of Daniel Jones, I always felt like the criticism I gave of Daniel Jones was warranted. And it's not like I rooted for him to fail. Like, that's what a hater does. A hater roots for him to fail. I always rooted for him to succeed, but when he wasn't, I get mad. It wasn't just Daniel Jones. I get mad at a lot of how many damn times last year, Chris, did I rip Joe Judge into one of the videos? I mean, I killed Joe Judge in those videos because he wasn't doing a good job. But it's not like I wanted Joe Judge to do a bad job. It's not like I wanted Daniel Jones to fail. Some guys, I said, I don't care how you root for the team, but the ones that think he's going to suck and then root for him to suck so they can say they're right, like those fans I don't like.
No.
You know? Tay, thanks so much, man. Appreciate you. He says, did you see Kellerman rank DJ a top 5 quarterback? His argument was he has a worst wide receiver group in the NFL, second in interceptions, 9th in QBR, took team to the playoffs. Keyshawn somewhat agreed.
I don't know if he necessarily ranked him as a top 5 quarterback, but he put him in his 3rd tier, and which he only mentioned 3 quarterbacks. I think he had Herbert, Jones, and I forgot the other quarterback in the same tier. This year,
pretty good company.
This year, Jones is on par with Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert's not having a great year.
Yeah.
So, hey, man, Dan Jones done a lot with a little this year, and at the end of the day, I don't really care where he ranks. He's helping
win games.
He's helping the team win. He's come up big in big spots, and he has as much to do with why he has more to do with why this team is winning than any other player on the roster.
Mm-hmm.
Just facts. He plays the most important position. He's come up with huge plays in huge spots this year when we've needed him most. So I don't really care if you feel more comfortable saying that he should be the 13th best quarterback or the 9th best quarterback or the 7th best quarterback.
Yeah, that's all subjective to your opinion, too.
Or the 17th best quarterback. I don't really care. I know this team is better because Daniel Jones is here. And I know right now he's limited and he is only going to get better if he remains here. Because I know this is his first year in the offense. I know he's throwing to throwaway wide receivers from other teams. And I know when he gets more talent at that position and he gets more familiar from within this offensive scheme, he's going to improve. That's what I know. That's what I think. I don't care if you want me to say, if that makes you more comfortable, Chris, you should say he's 13th. Okay, he's 13th. I know that he's a good quarterback and I know we can win football games with him. And that's really all I care about.
At the end of the day, Chris, it's personal preference. There is no formula to ranking these quarterbacks and how good or bad they are because it doesn't take into account the situation. You can look at the QBR and the passing numbers. Again, it doesn't take into account the system they're in, the offensive line, the wide receivers, the drops. If a wide receiver drops a pass, that's an incompletion on a quarterback. It shouldn't be, but it is. It doesn't go. The receiver gets a drop, but it doesn't go up. We'll nullify that pass and give it we won't count the pass, like a sacrifice fly. Like he doesn't get an official time at bat for that. It doesn't hurt his batting average. Hurts his on base percentage. Doesn't hurt his batting average. So you can't go up, drop. We won't call it an incompletion. Can't do that. So again, stats tell half the story. I watched Daniel Jones play. I watched Daniel Jones grow. And right now, I think he's in the upper third of the quarterbacks in the league.
You know what I find funny, Baddog? This is how you know Dan Jones is starting to get better. This is how you know the New York Giants are starting to get better. We never, very rarely, in up until the last 4 or 5 weeks, did we have people come in here like we've had tonight. Like 3 or 4 guys have come in and have spammed the chat with Daniel Jones sucks, Daniel Jones this, Daniel Jones that. That means Daniel Jones playing better. Because if Daniel Jones was dog crap and he was not playing well, they wouldn't even care to come in here and try to troll the chat and say how bad Daniel Jones is. So Daniel Jones playing better, and that's why you guys are bringing hate. So keep bringing it, and Daniel Jones will keep getting better.
I'll say this till the day I die, man. When you're on the internet and you spew those troll comments or insults, all that is a direct reflection of the insecurity that you have about yourself. And just coming on here and trolling the chat or insulting the video maker, whatever you do to make yourself feel better at the end of the day, it ain't going to change your life. I can tell you that right now. A couple of meaningless comments on the internet. If that's what you have to pump yourself up, I honestly feel bad for you. I really do. Tom, my friend, thank you for the super chat all the way from Australia. Well, as always, good on mate. Thank you for watching. I knew it's noon over there on Friday. He says, beyond stoked to have playoff Giants back. I was at the game back in 2016 against the Cowboys in the snow with Jack Rabbit's pick. The stadium was electric. Let's go Big Blue.
That's a good game.
That is a hell of a trip, Tom, and that's awesome that you were at the game. That was a good game. I remember Odell Beckham, catching that pass and running for the touchdown. I remember just jumping up. I mean, I wasn't streaming back then, but jumping up and just going, run, going crazy. Yeah. It was a low-scoring game, but yeah, it's the last time we beat Dak Prescott. It was 2006. That was the last game we beat Dak Prescott right there. That was 2016 one. We owe him too.
Yeah, we do.
We're going to start giving a lot of payback here over the next few years.
Yeah, we do.
Brad, thank you, my friend. We got a guy from Australia, and right after we got a guy from England. He says, DJ is the guy. Love from England. Shout out to you. It's like 5 o'clock in the morning in England. He says, stand up.
Let's go, Brad, man. Thanks so much for being here.
Much,
yeah, man,
Brad.
You're a diehard, man. 5 top of the morning to you.
Top of the morning to you. I can't. It's funny. British accents and Australian accents are close, but I cannot do an English accent. You do the Aussie one, but I cannot do the.
I can't do either one. So you're better than me.
I remember the Super Bowl was so bad. I was singing Fresh Prince of Bel-Air in Pakistan and Australia.
I can't do Pakistani either. I could do New York. That's about it.
That was a rough Super Bowl. That Rams Patriots one. That was rough. Jay Wavy, thank you so much. Do you think my Packers will win on Sunday? Yes, I do. It's in Lambeau. You guys are playing better than Detroit. Yes.
I'm going to tell you what, Baddog. I think and you know how much I like the 49ers. I had the 49ers in my preseason Super Bowl pick, and I'm going to stick with that because that's what I said before the year started, even though I have my, I'm a little nervous with Purdy. Obviously, if I'm a Niners fan at the quarterback, he's never played in the playoffs, Mr. Irrelevant. I think the Packers have a legitimate chance to beat the 49ers because they're super hot going in. I mean, they've won 4 straight. They destroyed the Vikings last week. They're dangerous going into the playoffs, the Packers. And
Christian Watson's made a huge difference.
And I absolutely think they're going to beat the Lions. They're going to make the playoffs.
They'll beat the Lions. I agree. They will definitely make the playoffs. I'm not quite as confident as
picking the Niners in that game. But
yeah, I don't.
They're dangerous, though. They're dangerous.
Well, I mean, anytime you have Aaron Rodgers, you got a chance.
Yeah.
But that 49er team
they're the best team. They're the best 2-man roster in football.
They're really good.
They just don't have the quarterback. But in terms of the overall roster, they're as good as anybody.
AZ, thank you for the super chat, man. Appreciate it. He says, talk about wrong. I thought Jamarcus Russell was a sure thing, which proves the thing about opinions. That's correct. And again, thanks for manning up. You the man.
Right? He was the one. And again, I didn't
know much about Jamarcus Russell.
Well, the one game was the Notre Dame game, the national championship game. That's where he kind of blew up because he had that huge game. And that game in itself kind of catapulted him in the draft. So I think I remember he was a first-round prospect, but not like an undoubtable number 1 overall pick. And then he had that great game. He had a great arm, and I obviously saw what the Raiders saw in him, but he did not. The work ethic with him, I mean, he was overweight. And
what happened with Dwayne Haskins, God rest his soul, was his work ethic wasn't, and he was kind of overweight and Yeah. But I didn't know much about Jamarcus Russell. I honestly didn't. But again, it just goes to show you, like I said, opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. They all stink. That's usually how that goes. So it is what it is. But that's the whole point. You're gonna, if you ever put your opinion out there and you're giving more than one, you are going to be wrong at some point. And
Of course.
it is okay. You're human. You're going to make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. Like I said, those that think they're perfect or will never admit that they're wrong, my brain's screwed up. Okay. But I'm not insecure. And I'm confident in my opinion. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't really care. It doesn't bother me to be wrong. I say this all the time, man. I've been married. I've been with my wife almost 23 years. I'm wrong a lot. She'll tell you. I mean, I'm always wrong. I'm married. Married guys. Are you not always wrong? Okay. There
Listen, it's the quarterback is the hardest prediction to predict. You're throwing darts at a board. Jay Cutler had as much talent as any quarterback I've ever seen, or right up there. Like he had mobility. His arm was off the charts. He didn't evolve into anything but an average quarterback in the NFL. There's a lot that goes into it. Yeah, and he had a good support system with Chicago. He had a ton of weapons there. Yeah. Marshall, Forte. He had a ton of weapons. And even with Denver, he had Brandon Marshall. But he never became what he could have been. So it's
his attitude bit the big one.
Yeah, he wasn't a good leader.
I remember that one night we killed him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, we killed his ass.
Yeah.
That was fun. Ruben, I think we had 12 sacks or something. It was ridiculous. Ruben, thank you so much, man. Really appreciate it. He says, nice job, guys. 4+ hours and still going strong. How about a shout out to wide receiver coach Mike Groh?
All the coaches. I mean,
yeah, the coaching staff overall has been phenomenal, Ruben. I don't think that can be understated. And a lot of times it is. Coaching goes unnoticed, but I'm telling you, in the postseason, your best coaches always win these games.
Yeah.
They really do. Your better coaches, they know how to outcoach the opponent. So, but
with what he's been given, wide receivers coach done a great job.
Amazing.
Yeah, he's done.
Especially since we went into the year with 4 wide receivers that are not playing right now. They were going to be our top 4 receivers that don't play. None of them play. Yeah. So, David, thank you for the super chat. He says, thoughts on the Yankees front office moves? Would they get Omar Minaya? I haven't really had a chance to look at anything today. I went to work. I came home. I went to the gym. I ate dinner. I came down. I did the stream with Chris and Patty. Now I'm doing the streamer. So I haven't seen.
Oh, you guys added Omar Minaya?
I thought that's what I saw, but I could be wrong.
Somebody in the chat say that too.
Yeah. So
you guys are taking all former Mets. You took Omar Minaya. Last year you took our former manager. You guys are taking a lot of former Mets.
Yeah, former Mets.
I'll say Minaya. I always thought he was actually underrated as a general manager.
He's not bad.
He was a good general manager.
I'm glad the Yankees are getting some other opinions in there.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's all about Hal and how much money he's willing to spend. 100%. He's not going to go Steve Cohen, but he's got to keep up. I'm telling you, Steve Cohen for the Mets could be the best thing that happened to the Yankees.
I agree. That's what I've said.
Hal can't be like, I can't be cheap now.
It's going to force you guys to spend. It might not happen this year. It's going to happen because if the Mets start to win World Series, what do you think is going to happen? The Yankees are going to have to. They're going to be like, okay, enough. So it's good. I think the Mets are going to force your hand.
I agree. Dan, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, I'd much rather play Minnesota over San Francisco in the first round. Me too.
Oh, it's not even close. I think we'd be like a 2.5 3-point dog against Minnesota. We'd be like a 7-point dog against the Niners. It's not even close. Especially when you factor in we got to travel across the country too if we play the 49ers. Yeah. No doubt about it.
No question. Demons Row, my main man. What's going on? Always good to see you in here. Thank you for the super chat. He says, guys, just tune in. Please tell me you destroyed Shannon Sharp for reaching on Kayvon Sack. So I didn't see it. I don't ever watch Undisputed. I've never watched that show. It comes on when I'm at work, so I don't see it. But yeah, we talked about it in a previous stream. Kayvon Thibodeau took a lot of heat. I don't think that he knew Nick Foles was hurt. And I don't know what Shannon Sharp said, but I don't think he knew Foles was hurt when he was doing the Snow Angels. Now, if he went to the sideline and knew he's hurt and did one of these, it's a different story. And I'll be honest with you, man. I think that what happened to Hamlin, I think that may have made this look worse. The optics were not great, but at the end of the day, sometimes things get a little bit blown out of proportion. That's the media's job, and it'll pass. If Kayvon Thibodeau did that and knew it, he's a rookie, made a mistake. It's not the end of the world. But I didn't see what Shannon Sharp said. You're muted, Chris.
There
There you go. You're good.
Probably got to switch to my better mic now because I don't know why that happens from time to time. But yeah, I think listen, I think in the heat of the moment, the Snow Angel thing, I think that was pure adrenaline. I don't think he knew Foles was hurt. I know people have said, well, he hit him 4 times with his head. I think a lot of people haven't played sports.
How do they know? He didn't know that was Nick Foles.
That's he's over the moon excited, like adrenaline, like it's a celebration. I have no issue with the sack celebration on the field. Where I do have some issue and where I can see where some people say the optics are bad is the after the fact. When he's on the sideline, when he's doing this, I could understand fans being like, yeah, that's no. So I could see some of it. Do I think it's being overblown a bit? Yes. Do I think that Kayvon handled it the best with the media after the fact? No. Kayvon probably should have just came out and said, listen, I understand where people are coming from, especially with what happened in the Monday night game. And I probably shouldn't have done this. I probably should have been more aware of the circumstance. Could have handled it better. I still love Kayvon. I still think he's great. I still want him to be a Giant for the next 10 to 15 years. And yeah, I think it's being overblown a bit by the media.
Yep. Independent outsider, thanks so much, man. Appreciate it. Hello, you play to win the game. Let's go, G-Man.
Let's go.
I would love to kick Philadelphia's ass.
Yeah,
you do play to win the game. That was the whole point of my video. We don't owe them anything. We don't owe them that. So, and then it's funny because I get all the Eagle fans. We're not scared of you. What happened last time? What happened last time has got no bearing on what happens this time. Ask the 2007 Cowboys how that worked out for them when they beat our ass twice in the regular season. Ask them what happened when you played them in the postseason. Ask what happened there. Happens a lot. What happens in the previous game has nothing to do with what happens in future games. Nothing. Lionel, thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. Says the day Baddog made the video recently about Jones. It literally opened my eyes. We really may have something at the position. We do, my friend. I think that was a Daniel Jones haters club, but I was talking about how some people just refuse to give him credit. And I'm not going to be one of them people.
It's both sides, by the way. There's people that refuse to give him any
blame. Right.
So you have extremes on both sides, like anything else in life. But right now, the people that are extreme Daniel Jones haters, there are some that will not come off their opinion, and it is what it is. I hope he keeps proving them wrong. I hope he keeps making them look like morons, and he continues to improve as a quarterback. That's what I hope happens.
Yep.
So everybody should be open.
I agree. Silly Parody, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, brother. He says, wouldn't it be something if we advanced further than Dallas or Philly? I don't get the DJ hate. Fans of many other teams would kill for him. That's the thing. I don't get it either. I mean, I got it. Because again, I was critical of him. I got it the last 3 years. I understood why people were upset with him, but I don't know why you wouldn't be happy for the kid this year.
I mean, listen, you look around the league, Baddog, we've done this exercise several times, but if you look around the league, there's probably at least half the teams would want Daniel Jones. I mean, Patriots, yes. Jets, yes. I personally think he's better than Tua. I know people that just look at stats are going to say otherwise. Give me Tyreek Hill. Give me Jalen Waddle. I look at their physical skill set. That's just me.
Carolina would take him. Atlanta would take him.
Carolina would take him. Atlanta would take him. The Steelers would take him.
Houston would take him.
Houston would take him. The Titans, I think, would take him. The Colts would take him. The Raiders at this point would probably take him. The Broncos would take him. Washington would take him. You could argue Detroit would take him. The Bears, I mean, I know people love Fields, but the Bears are 3-13. Everybody seems to love Justin Fields. The Bears are 3-13.
Yeah.
It's like,
and they traded a second-round pick for Chase Claypool.
They traded a second-round pick for Chase Claypool. The Saints would take him. The Panthers would take him. The Falcons would take him. More than half the league would take him.
Yep.
There's no doubt about it.
I agree. I can't. Z-Stan Rana says, Baddog is a mad dog, and the Giants still stink. I got to be honest. The first 3 years, that might have been funny. It's kind of played out now. I don't know. I think after 4 years, it's run its course a little bit. I don't know. It's just me. And the Giants don't stink. That's the thing. So they're 9-6-1. Are they the best team in the league? No. But they're a playoff team. Playoff teams don't stink. Sorry. Tyler Frischkorn, thank you for the super chat. Been on your channel since 2015. Damn, you go way back. You go back to the TTC days, which that last Eagles video was a little bit of what I used to do. A little bit of the trash talking. I'm 18 now with a grainy camera and the chubby face. Well, that's 2017, that video. Yeah, that was March of 2017. Mr. Bad Dog. Yeah, that was me. Mr. Bad Dog 17. What's going on, everybody? Bad Dog Giants Mafia. That's the way we used to bring in the channel. But damn, Tyler, you been around a long time. Long time. And yeah, I was a lot fatter back then. 70 pounds fatter. But thank you, man, for watching for that long. I appreciate that. You know, you got like my guy Punkham. Punkham's been with me since my first run when I was here in 2007. So wow. Punkham's known me for a long freaking time. King Trizzy, my friend, thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate it. Meaningless Giants game in January. It's like deja vu. Just kidding. Let's effing go, G, man. I'm so ready for Giants playoff football. I want a playoff win, baby. We all do, my friend.
Oh, man. Nothing be better. Nothing be sweeter than that, man. Nothing will be sweeter than that, Trizzy.
Yeah, the only thing that'll be sweeter than that is 2 playoff wins.
Or 4.
Or 4. JC, thank you, my friend. I appreciate you, brother. He says, Dak reminds me of Romo in the playoffs. Chocos. Can you imagine if they lost to Brady?
Do you know if Daniel Jones wins against the Vikings, he will have as many career playoff wins as Dak Prescott?
That's pretty good.
And Tony Romo.
That's correct. That's pretty funny.
That's just facts.
That's just facts. And I think more than Kirk Cousins.
I think Cousins has 1. He won with the Vikings. One. Yeah, because remember, I think he's got 1. He might have 2. I think he's only got 1, though.
Dashy, my friend, thank you for the super chat. Bills Bengals ruled a no contest. Bengals won the AFC North for a second straight season, and already Bengals division rivals are not happy. That's right. Now your game against Baltimore means absolutely nothing. You've clinched. So you can rest your guys if you choose to, or play them for a quarter or whatever. But yeah, you should be. I'm Dash, you know this. I've been saying this probably since Thanksgiving, maybe the week before. I think you're going back to the Super Bowl. I think Cincinnati's going back to the Super Bowl. I do.
They're the hottest team right now.
I think they're going back to the Super Bowl.
It's either going to be them, the Bills, or the Chiefs.
That offense is just low. That offense is so good.
Those are the 3 best teams right now in the AFC. The way they're all 3 of those guys got a shot.
Yeah, I completely agree. Joe, thanks so much, man. Really appreciate it. He says, hello, guys. My company, Sprinter Moving Services, soon to be a sponsor of your shows. Yeah, that's awesome.
That'd be awesome.
That would be pretty awesome. Pick a former Giants player from the past you put into this roster to make it better for the player. Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah,
any former Giant, I'm always going to say Lawrence Taylor.
Joe, it's always got to be LT. And you know, but I mean, there's certain players that you love. I love Eli. You love Tiki Barber. You love Plaxico Burress. But it's got to be that. By the way, that should be any team. Not just the Giants. Like if any team was doing a draft today, excluding the quarterback position, like if we were doing all-time football players, Lawrence Taylor should be your first pick.
Absolutely.
Like if maybe Jerry Rice, but if not Rice and not a quarterback, it should be Lawrence Taylor.
Agreed. Incredible. Yeah, he's the best.
Change the game.
Absolutely. Nikki, thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. He says, never get the YouTube notification for you, Bad Dog. Up Tainah. That's all right, Nikki. YouTube does never send out notifications. I get that all the time, like in the basketball streams. Like, I didn't get the notification. I'm like, don't worry about it. YouTube does that to me on a consistent basis.
What's up, Nikki, man? Good to see you, man.
Absolutely ridiculous. But thank you for being here, Nikki. Appreciate it. And yeah, man, it's just, I think I am all caught up now. So thank you guys and girls. Appreciate it. But yeah, man, like I said, this week has been fun. Next week's going to be fun. I love the fact that we play a game on Sunday, the last game of the season, and it doesn't mean anything. And it's not because our season's over. I love the fact that our regular season's over, but there is bonus football. There's bonus football. We got an extra game this year because we had there were 17 games last year. So we got an extra game, at least one. And that's what I
more than one, though. I'm greedy.
So do I. I don't know if I might have to eat cinnamon rolls. Well, it didn't work in 2016. I tried that. I have to find something else to try to nosh on. I might have to throw up before the first game. I don't know. Whatever the hell it takes. Whatever the hell it takes. I just want to win. Yeah, I want to beat Minnesota. We owe Minnesota. I'm pumped up, man. I'm ready to go. Because I have not been able to stream a playoff game. I've not been able to stream important Giants games.
This year, we've streamed plenty of them. We've streamed plenty of them this year.
I mean, I in 2007, I was here. I mean, you just made videos.
Yeah.
Really wasn't live streaming on YouTube back then. I don't think that was an option. But, I mean, I was here for it. I enjoyed it. I bragged about it in the videos. I was here for 2008. 2009, when they kind of fell apart. But then I left for 5 years, and then I came back, and I've been here since. So, since I came back in 2014, the Giants have had one playoff game, and they got blown out. They haven't been good in 8 years since I've been back on YouTube. So it's nice to be back in the postseason.
We're back.
Excited, man. Excited. No matter what happens, I'm excited. I'm excited for the future of the Giants.
For sure.
We're doing it. Fabian, thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. Sweetest NFC Championship home game. Let's go. We have to play the Packers. That's the only way
That's the only way that could happen.
Yep,
that's probably not going to happen, but that's the only way that could happen. The last time we had an NFC championship home game, that was the Vikings, 41-0.
Yep.
Last time we had a home championship game.
Yep.
By the way, what are we, 5-0 in the?
We're 5-0 in the NFC Championship.
In the NFC Championship, we've never lost an NFC Championship.
Never lost.
4-1 in Super Bowls.
Yep.
So we don't get the most opportunities, but when we get them, we make the most of them.
We make the most of them. We definitely take advantage of them.
Like by comparison, you look at the Jets. The Jets have had 3 since I've been watching, and they've been the 4 because obviously they won a Super Bowl in '69. I don't know if they went to one in between that, but they've been the 3 in my lifetime, and they didn't win any of them. The championship games they lost in '98, I think it was, with Testaverde to the Broncos. Yep. They lost to the Steelers, and they lost to the Colts with Peyton Manning.
Yep. Yeah.
We make the most of it when we get our opportunity.
We make the most of it without a doubt. And there's no question about it, man. The Giants, again, we don't get the most opportunities, but we do take full advantage of them. I mean, the Eagles, they went to 4 NFC Championship games in a row and lost 3 of them before they were finally able to win one, and then they lost in the Super Bowl to the Patriots. So, I don't know. But guys and girls, listen, it is 12:20. We got started a little bit later than normal tonight, but this was an awesome stream. Really good crowd, which definitely appreciate. I'm glad you guys and girls are pumped up for this one, and as well you should be, man. Like I said, we deserve this. A lot of you guys and girls have been with, as we saw in some of the comments tonight, have been here since 2020, have been here since 2019, 2018 when we started this show, and it's fun. Once in a while I go back to Chris and I's original show. Chris's accent was much thicker. But we had like 9 people in our first live stream, and tonight we had over 1,000 at one point. I just think that's awesome. But you guys and girls have stuck with us through this dark, this past 5 years of just an absolute dark cloud. Those clouds have lifted. And we're going to enjoy some playoff football, man. One way or the other, we got a playoff game, at least one, hopefully more. But I'm so looking forward to having a playoff stream. We've always wanted what one would look like, and now we're going to get to see at least one and hopefully more.
I think we're going to get more, but we'll see. I think we got a good shot against Minnesota, but let's get through this Philly week. We're going to have a really fun week this week.
Absolutely.
I'm going to be live all week leading up to the playoffs. Of course, we're going to be doing the show. There's going to be a lot to talk about. It's going to be a really fun week leading up into the playoffs, and hopefully a really fun week after that. Celebrating the playoff win and getting ready for Daniel Jones' second playoff win against probably the Philadelphia Eagles. But it's been a great year. It's been a lot of fun, and we still got at least 2 more games left. Thank you guys for all the support. Get some sleep. I know I got to get some. I got work tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm calling in tomorrow.
You're going to call in tomorrow? I can't.
So. I've been up every day and until like 1 o'clock. I think I'm just going to take a mental day. Sometimes you need it.
Take a mental day.
Load management is what we call that in the business.
But we appreciate all you guys. Thank you guys for all your support. And we're going to the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys, girls, get some sleep. Again, it's amazing that we had 2 games against the Eagles and neither one of them meant a damn thing. But I still want to kick their ass as long as our starters are in there. That's going to be great. Anyway, thank you so much. Always appreciated. For the entertainer talking sports, it is the Bad Diggity Dizzle. We out.